Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Okay. So we'll talk about weather this hour and a potential winter storm. That's what something we've been really looking at since last week. And it still remains a situation where the National Weather Service says they're looking at a winter storm. We'll talk about that. This hour, Stefan Diggs. Davey, there's much to talk about with Stefan Diggs. I wonder, is this guy trouble for the Buffalo Bills? His reaction after the loss, I really feel is inexcusable. Now listening to him talk brings back remnants of when he was in Minnesota. The same crap.
And then he said the quote about something about winning. Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna be a off-season distraction for the Bills. I think.
I think you're right. We'll talk about that. Another shooting in California. You know, they always worry about potential copycats. And that's exactly what I'm afraid happened yesterday. We'll talk about Jimmy Fallon. I can get into that right now. There is a special WIBX matinee show that will happen on the 18th when he's in town. It'll be at 5 p.m. at Fat Cats Comedy Club. A special WIBX matinee. And there are some other surprises.
Surprises?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Now, is that what Jimmy calls it when you're at a show?
Bill,
do you have more surprises for me?
I cannot reveal the surprises.
Okay.
But I'm going to reveal it to you. You got to take your headphones off. And then you react any way you'd like.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Really?
Isn't that
That's really cool.
Isn't that cool? But
That
it's
is
got to be a surprise.
Okay, I won't say
Davey,
anything.
and I was told specifically it must be a huge surprise for you when Jimmy comes. And he'll be doing his show from here on the 17th, right here from he'll be in the studio with us and then do the show from this studio. Once again, nationwide from WIBX's studios.
Wow, that's awesome.
What's wrong, Davey?
I want to know the surprise.
I know. I'll share it with you, I promise. All right?
I'm his buddy.
You are. That's why I'm thinking you might already even know.
No.
Listen, a matinee show is on sale right now. You can get tickets by going to fatcatscomedyclub.com. It's a WIBX event. The whole weekend is, but this matinee will be special. For those who don't want to get out late, this is a great opportunity to come in early. You can do dinner afterwards or head on home, whatever it is you'd like to do. How about, Jeff, this another shooting in California? What is going on? And I can hear it now, everybody saying, you know, this state has the second strictest gun laws in America.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, we've talked about the gun law situation before. I don't think it has anything to do with the particular state. In fact, it does seem like I don't want to make a correlation. It just seems like the stricter the gun laws are, it doesn't really do that much as far as preventing shootings. Anyway.
If someone wants to cause harm.
Correct.
I
can't do it here. They got a gun law in this state.
The only way the gun laws work are in countries where you can't get guns.
Correct.
And you just can't get them. It works there. And, of course, that will never happen, obviously. So somewhere along the line, we have to make a change in society. But this going in and shooting up innocent people,
it's
and
so
again
horrible.
to happen all over again yesterday, in California just a few days after it happened over the weekend.
And so what was the outcome with this one, with the I'll say the alleged shooter?
Another older male.
I don't know why I always
I believe Asian as well.
I hyper focus on this. The motivation. What makes you
I don't
do
think we
that?
know. I don't think we know on either one. But when you really you reach a point of mental illness, it seems, and there's no excuse for that, right? It's like you can't say, well, we have to treat this person special. We can't send them to jail. They'll have to go to a mental institution because of what they were going through. But even with what the woman was going through with her husband, the two of them in the hospital in Florida, where their plan was, if it ever got to the point where it got so bad he was going to be terminal and there was no recovery, he would shoot his wife and then shoot himself. But then he got so weak that he couldn't do it. So in the hospital room, she did it for him and then couldn't complete the job in shooting herself. At what point of mental decline do you have to be in to be able to pull that off?
Well, hold on. See, here's the thing. To me, these are two totally different issues because
they are. What I'm talking about, though, is the issue that's the same. It's the mental illness issue. Once you reach a certain point that you're willing to take a gun and shoot someone or shoot many people,
right.
Just that mere decision to take that gun, what has happened to your brain that would allow you to do it? Whether you're going in and you're shooting up a school, you're shooting up a dance hall, or you decide in a hospital to end your life and your husband's life with a gun in a hospital. It's just there are so many other ways you could have pulled this off without firing a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, and I just go back to the decline in mental stability that would have someone, because there are people that go through this every single day. They go through anger at work. They go through heartache at home. They go through physical illness and terminal illness where they're going to lose their partner, but they don't take that step. So what is it that allows somebody to take that awful, terrible, crazy step?
So in regard to the husband and wife in the hospital, I mean, I feel like she's feeling obligated, like I'm doing this as a compassionate act, right? You're questioning why she's using a gun,
I understand,
not
but
another means,
there's a
right?
point where the logic didn't kick in.
Right.
I guess there is a point where the logic did kick in when she said, oh, my God, I can't do this to me.
To me, yeah.
Well, now I hope you're thinking about you're going to be charged with murder. You're going to prison, and you're already at the end of, the ending years of your life. You're going to spend that in prison now.
Yeah. So, but I continue to be baffled.
But even even the husband, to concoct this plan where they would do it it's one thing, I guess, to do it in the privacy of your home, but what an awful way to go, right? What a terrible way to go.
Right. And then what are you going to have, a family member walk in on that?
Right.
That's terrible.
I mean, there's just no thinking here.
Yeah.
And so it means that at some point the human mind declines so traumatically and dramatically that we lose all logic and make terrible, terrible decisions.
Now, if I had
even the shooting yesterday, the cops found him in his car waiting at the sheriff's office, the shooter. So at some point he had to realize,
I've done wrong.
This is what I've done. I'm just going to pull over here. I'm not going to keep running.
Yeah.
That is a slight moment of sanity, right?
Yeah. So, and I could, because I don't think if I had a loved one begging me, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could pull the trigger. I'm pretty sure I couldn't.
No. And, there are things that can be done today where even with a compassionate, I forget what it's called, but there's each state, I believe assisted suicide is legal and illegal in the United States. However, there are ways, if you do it yourself and you're not assisted by someone, I forget exactly what the law is, but there's a way to get it done. But even, take too many pills, do whatever you have to do, but shooting up each other in the hospital probably is going to cause a problem. And I hate to combine all of these together.
Yeah.
But it does all come back to one common denominator. Your mind is malfunctioning.
Yeah, and to the point about the last two shootings in California with these older gentlemen who have opened fire and killed, I just couldn't imagine. I mean, these guys, as far as we know, have lived like crime-free lifestyles to this point, right? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And
well,
then,
at the very least, they haven't shot up multiple people in a mass shooting.
And then to go, to shoot like a younger generation of people, I couldn't do that either. I mean, you'd have to really, really cross a line.
Yeah.
I just
when you talk to people that have gone to war and will not, I think there's a good chance that we all know someone who went through war and had to take someone's life, and as they go through their adult life, their life in peace, away from the military and living at home, they almost always never want to talk about what happened.
Right. It's a different place, different time, almost a different person.
It haunts them.
Yeah.
And they don't want to talk about it. So it's a traumatic occurrence if you are in a position, a police officer who has to take a life, automatically goes on leave just because of the trauma that the police officer goes through. But for some reason, there is a portion and up until this point, we've been saying that it's in the younger demographic, right? These younger kids don't realize it must be, that pulling the gun, pulling the trigger is taking a life. It's not like a video game. But now we're dealing with people in their 60s and 70s. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, I to be honest with you, I don't know.
Or has it always gone on and we just have
no, there's definitely an increase
in
the number of mass
But we
shootings.
do have a world where an instant news and a 24-hour news cycle where we get the story.
Yeah.
Whereas it may have taken many years or many weeks or days for you to get the story 75 years ago.
And I don't want to conflate issues, but since you mentioned an officer being involved in a shooting, am I incorrect that was it in Atlanta or somewhere in Georgia where a police officer shot an individual and they're protesting this as police brutality or police violence, but I believe that the person who was killed, didn't he shoot a cop just before he was killed by a cop?
I don't know that story. Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I got to do my research on it, I guess, before I start sharing opinions. But that is what I've come to understand from watching a clip on the news last night, and I'm like, wait a minute. They're protesting that as police brutality?
Rob this morning says the second shooting, the one that happened yesterday, was a disgruntled employee. But even that, it still comes back to how disgruntled could you be to make the decision, I mean, there are a lot of things you can do to get back at somebody that are short of taking a gun and shooting them. It's just...
it's horrible.
It is what it is. We mentioned, we'll talk more about that as the morning goes on. FDA considering a change to the vaccine strategy. We've talked about this even during COVID. At some point, we think the vaccine will be the type of thing treated like the flu, where everybody gets the vaccine in the fall, and you cross your fingers and hope it's a good version of the vaccine.
Yeah. That could be the case. Yeah, that could be the case.
And we'll talk to Tanya Powers on that. Katie Aiello was on. We're going to get as much information as we can on the Genesee Street survey. And what do we call that again? It's
Complete
Streets.
Complete Streets, yeah.
And we'll take another shot. We did this a couple of weeks ago, and it just didn't work out. The reporter who is the expert on Vikings.
Right.
Like the real Vikings, not the Minnesota Vikings. And some new discoveries have occurred from archaeologists, and I don't know, is this a fish out of water, or will it be interesting? We'll see. I think it's going to be interesting. And they're saying now that that fentanyl is now claiming 150 lives per day in the United States.
It's unbelievable. That's 3 per state.
That's rough.
Breaks down much differently than that, but on average, it's 3 people in each state who die a day, 150 people a day. I mean, that drug has just ravaged the country and so many people and families.
George Santos continues to wow
Lie?
the world with more of his stories. We learn more. It seems like every day there's another story that he's told. And right now it is starting to cause a little bit of a problem for Elise Stefanik. As you know, they still have his back. He is still somebody who has been elected, and I'm not sure that I completely disagree with that. He's an elected member of Congress, but there does come a certain point where when people do certain things while serving, that the rest of Congress takes a look at that and says enough is enough. We have to take some sort of action. I'm not sure that should happen here. But what was Elise Stefanik thinking? And many of the Republican donors are asking that question now. Donors who have given a lot of money to Santos's campaign, but they didn't know Santos. They knew Elise Stefanik.
Gotcha.
So they're questioning her. How could you direct us this way? And it has, Santos is who he is. But for Stefanik, who's the number 4 Republican, it does hurt credibility slightly.
I do have to wonder if she is upset with those. I wonder who's.
She's got to be upset with whoever said Santos is your guy.
I got this guy. He can get elected. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I just wonder when, let's say I walk out there and I go, look, I graduated from Harvard. I got a 1,600 on my SATs. Who vets that? Who says, this guy's claiming that? How do we fact check this? And I'm surprised. Santos had an opponent in the fall, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. This is normally happens in a heated campaign.
Right. I mean, they smear you. They say everything they can say. They tie you to this one and that one. You'd think they'd do a little fact checking on these people. I mean, how great of a campaign ad is it to come out and say, you play the audio of George Santos saying, I graduated from this college. Lie. Yeah. I did this. Lie. My mother died on 9/11. Lie. There you go. That's the ad.
What you do in that commercial is you'd actually have his mother in the commercial saying, Georgie, that's a lie. I'm right here.
There you go. And then you get it. Then you get elected, right? And he doesn't win the seat. I'm just surprised it's taking this long.
And then what do you do? I mean, when the public knows this is. But the problem here is the public didn't know, and that becomes a real issue. So it'll be interesting to see where it all goes. But the more we know on George Santos, the more we know. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
The National Weather Service has listed the snowfall totals from the storm that we had. We're looking at another one tomorrow and into tomorrow night and into Thursday. How much we get of this, we don't know. But all the National Weather Service right now is saying is we're watching a winter storm. We'll see what happens. But the top snow getter in our region, Dowsville, with 10 inches.
Okay.
And I thought we were pretty close, at least at my house. We had to be pretty close to 10 inches. This is what the National Weather Service says. Amsterdam got 10 inches. Warrensburg in Warren reached 12 inches.
Ooh.
Oneonta had 11 inches. But for our area, Richfield Springs with 9. As I keep going down, New Hartford, 8 inches. Cooperstown, 8 inches. Herkimer, 8 inches. Utica with 7 inches.
What New Hartford, New York Bills, 5?
New Hartford was 8.
It was 8. Okay.
8 inches. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, and I can't even get back here to pat myself on the back.
And I don't have a listing for Rome right now.
I'm quite
7
sore
inches
this
in
morning.
Marcy. I think that looks about right for where we are.
I have a complete blacktop driveway this morning. I mean, I put in some work yesterday.
It melted yesterday, right?
Well, it was getting heavy. It was getting heavy, right? But no, I completely.
I'm saying if you shovel your driveway off, there's a good chance, and you really scraped it. There's a good chance there was some meltage going on yesterday.
Yeah, I was able to tackle that. I was so happy because usually, again, I'm one of the last ones on the block to get the driveway shoveled, and then you end up with weeks of ice buildup at the bottom of the driveway, and it's just a total disaster. Not looking forward to this next storm, though. It's the heavy, wet stuff at this time of year, right? We don't get that. We don't get that powder stuff that just falls from the sky and blows around a little bit at this time of year.
Well, we should in January and February. It's the coldest part of the winter normally. I mean, think about it. We're normally in those long dreaded below zero streaks that we normally get, but we're way warm.
Yeah, I guess so.
But where does that take us? I don't know. Rob says, here's a Democratic congressman, says he did not share sensitive information with the Chinese spy. Do you remember that story? What was his name? I forgot his name. But Rob, that's not what we're talking about. I don't think this is a Republican or Democrat issue, to be honest.
The documents?
Santos.
Oh, Santos.
I think if Santos was a Democrat, we'd be having the same talk about this. Republicans would be calling for him to step down. Democrats would say he's duly elected, and the rest of us would be like, how do we elect this guy?
Right.
Whether he's Republican or Democrat. No, there's a double standard. Okay, I don't think so. Not in a case like this. This is just good. I think it's good news. People love news like this, whether you're Republican or Democrat.
Yeah, I mean, and Rob, from your standpoint, you want to get rid of him, right?
I would.
You don't want him to clean up his act and be in Congress in 6 years, and then he goofs something up, and you go, "Who's that?" Remember, it's the guy who said his mom died in 9/11, and he made up that he went to all these colleges.
With all of these,
get him out.
With all of these, the lies that he's told, he's clearly has a problem with pathological lying.
It's like he's just going to be a black guy for the party going forward.
Yeah.
Get him out.
What else did I have here this morning?
Have you heard the M&M controversy story? I'm getting messages about that.
So we have a new voice for the M&M characters, right? Is that what's happening? Maya Rudolph, I believe, is going to be the.
I was led to believe it was a trans thing. No.
Okay, there might be another. Is there a trans M&M?
Well, the message I have right now is
I'm still trying to figure out which M&M is male and which M&M is female. I still don't know.
Well, the one with the heels on, I think, is the female.
Oh, we're talking about the caricatures, the cartoon characters.
Spokes Candies controversy explained. Okay, so. Okay, there's red, green, blue, brown, orange, and yellow. Say goodbye to both the sexy green M&M and also her feminist sneaker-wearing counterpart. Mars Wrigley, the maker of the colorful chocolate candies, has pulled its M&M Spokes Candies mascots indefinitely from marketing and branding. Instead, M&M will be represented by real-life comedian and actress Maya Rudolph.
Yeah.
The news comes after a rebranding to make the characters more inclusive and the subsequent fallout from the far-right conservative pundits like Fox News host Tucker Carlson condemn the change. So
listen, these people are they're marketing candy. I wouldn't look into it that far. And the thought is if there's a market out there that they can sell to, they're going to find a way to market to it.
Yeah, I guess until they turn off the other people, though, right?
Correct. I mean, all of a sudden, if this move means fewer people are eating M&Ms, then they'll say, "Oops, that was a mistake," and they'll remarket again. The number of commercials that you see on television today that are, I don't want to say necessarily trans, but there's certainly commercials today are much more inclusive than we've ever seen in our lifetime.
Here's their statement. America, let's talk. In the last year, we've made some changes to our beloved Spokes Candies. We weren't sure if anyone would even notice, and we definitely didn't think it would break the internet. But now we get it. And even a candy's shoes can be polarizing, which was the last thing M&M's wanted since we're all about bringing people together. Therefore, we've decided to take an indefinite pause from the Spokes Candies. In their place, we're proud to introduce spokesperson America can agree on, and then they talk about
And
Maya
by the way,
Rudolph.
the person that came up with the idea to do the all different versions of the M&M characters has now been fired. No need to worry. They're gone. Well, that was a stupid idea.
And Mark says this morning, the most offensive thing was the number of calories I was consuming.
It's a very good point. Because I got to tell you, my daughter got one of those bags. They have the big bags that they use for cooking. It's like got to be 1.5 pounds of M&Ms.
Oh, my gosh.
And I don't know, when you open that up and you grab out a handful, that's just a handful of your diet going down the tubes. Just like that.
That's the truth.
It is very difficult to say no. We were talking a little bit of sports. Jim Gray asked Tom Brady the obvious question about retirement on the Let's Go podcast, and here is what Brady had to say.
Do you have any type of a timetable as to what you might want to do regarding your football career?
Jim, if I knew what I was going to do, I'd have already done it. Okay? I'm taking it a day at a time.
I sense you're antagonized by the question.
You're scratching. I appreciate your asking. Thank you.
Really? I don't think he does.
Oh, that's funny.
That was an answer.
It was. Jim Gray and Tom Brady for years, maybe decades, maybe better than a decade, have done a special interview on Monday Night Football, the radio broadcast, right?
Right. As of this year, they no longer do it because
They
Rich
discontinued.
Eisen take over.
That's true, right? And they discontinued it. So they have a relationship there. I just don't want people to think that Brady was legitimately cussing out Jim Gray. They are buddies, and they do frequent interviews. But that's a great audio clip right there.
That is a great audio clip.
And I think that's real. I think he doesn't know what to do because if you look at his performance on the field, it's a clear indication that it's time to retire, bud. Hang up the cleats.
Yeah.
Your wife left you, and pretty soon your agent's going to leave you because you're not looking very good out there on the field.
Yeah, I got to say, when you see it, when you cap off this year for Tom Brady, just call it a not the calendar year, but basically 12 to 18 months. It's been a little rough. Football on the field and off the field.
And while you're at it, talk Danny Jones into retiring too, please.
Rob says, my point is that no one cares. No one cares about George Santos. Is that true? I kind of disagree with it. I just think that I find it interesting for somebody sitting member of Congress that can tell these lies that keep popping up. I think that people do care a little bit.
Yeah, it certainly is embarrassing, I think, to his district. It's
And
embarrassing
it's certainly
to some
got
other
to be
Republicans.
a problem for people who gave a lot of money, and they gave the money because of Elise Stefanik. It is a problem for her.
Yeah, and I would say additionally, like, if they're backing him up and then you catch Biden in another lie or a Democrat in a lie, doesn't it hurt your own credibility when you become critical of them? I mean, it's kind of like what we're seeing with Biden in the documents. It's so irresponsible. And then, they find, I can't even keep track of the batches of documents they found.
Did they find more yesterday? No,
I
over
think
the weekend.
Friday. Yeah, over the weekend.
Over
yeah.
the weekend, which was, don't worry, though, it was voluntary. We invited the FBI in. That's the difference. I got to say that I think Biden could have had an argument that we handled this differently than Donald Trump, which is definitely true. There's no doubt about it.
That argument, though,
but the argument would have been a better argument if they came clean in November. And number one, because now they have their own controversy.
Right.
Trump's controversy was, no, these are my documents. At a blink of an eye, I can declassify them. These are mine. You can't have them. That's a completely different situation. It is. And I think you've heard a lot of people on the Democrat side saying that it's different. It is. But so is this. And this is just its own bad different. This is bad for Biden.
And I think that's a decent
very bad.
argument. If there's one batch or two batches,
That's-
are we up to 5
That's
different
the point.
fines?
What he should have done was we feel like we have an issue. We're going to handle this differently. We're bringing in the FBI to search the properties, get it all done at once, and end it right there. The problem, this has been dripping for how long? And I think we said this on the first day we heard about it. Do you remember? I remember it well. I think the bigger issue here is the fact that they knew about it, let the midterms go, and let's not forget that special election in Georgia. That passed by, and only then was it released, and it took a reporter to uncover the story before they ever talked about it. So, and then Biden is still saying there's nothing there. There's no there. Well, there's a lot of there.
Yeah.
It seems. So this was another bungled debacle for Joe Biden, I'm afraid.
And if you're having a bad afternoon, you need a laugh, a pick me up, just Google Karine Jean-Pierre during her daily press briefings.
I
when
still
she
feel
takes
bad
questions.
for her because they keep telling her you can't say anything, and she's out there getting pelted.
Well, she is. Some of her answers are nonsensical, but I do agree that's a tough position to be in. But some people, when you get them talking or when you get a little pressure on them, they might sweat. Their lip will sweat or their brow will sweat. She blinks, right? So, and then she'll do this reaffirmative thing where she'll go, well, the president didn't know the documents were there, right? Like she kind of asks herself and answers the question, but her eyes were batting like you wouldn't believe, man. When you put pressure on her, she's blinking four 4 words a minute.
How long does she last in this job?
You think she leaves, or you think they fire her?
I don't think. I think she's doing their job, the job that they want her to do. But I'm not sure that if I were her, how long I could handle it.
Yeah, it's like, come on, can you arm me with some information so I can
something.
bat back the media? Yeah.
Today is National Compliment Day, and it's also National Peanut Butter Day, if you care about any of that.
Which reminds me, you're looking a bit taller today. Did you do something different?
Do I look taller? Oh, Compliment Day. Oh, good. I'd like to say to you, did somebody have tacos? Because that's all I smell in this place today.
I just said to Smitty. All right. So
who had tacos?
Somebody decided at 11:30 at night, not me, to make tacos. So I got up and I had a couple tacos, but my coat was over the chair in the kitchen. And you smell. I came in. I said all I could smell is burger and onion.
I could smell it coming through the door. It's like you've been you spent time in a professional kitchen. Yep. A new TikTok video is introducing the conspiracy theory that the Titanic never sank. They say it was another older boat that looked identical, and it was sunk so the company could get insurance money. Yep. And here is the theory.
The Olympic and the Titanic, they look identical. The Olympic was on the water for a while. Like, she was reaching retirement, and they knew that. And they were like, well, it was a lot of money to make the Titanic, and it's going to be even more money to repair the Olympic. So what if we just sent the Olympic out instead, sank that, claimed some insurance money, and then just scraps the Titanic like it was the Olympic for some spare parts?
Oh, my. This is how this stuff gets started. I really think this person is probably smarter than that, and they're just like, watch what I can do. I'll start this whole controversy, and let's see how far it can go. I think we're all in agreement that the Titanic sank.
I think the younger generation thinks the world began the moment that they were born, and I think they think everybody who came before them was a complete moron and didn't investigate things, or there weren't actually people on the boat. Even the flat earth thing. I mean, some of these conspiracies are like, oh, I could totally see how it happened. Yeah, but there were actually people living here on the planet at the time. It didn't actually happen that way.
Rob is still going at it. Rob, why did they all of a sudden start searching for documents? He had classified documents from his Senate days. I don't know the answer to any of that.
I think that's a fair question.
But I'm not disagreeing with him at all on this.
Correct.
This is a major controversy. Just like the documents in Mar-a-Lago are a major controversy for Trump, this is a major controversy for Biden. And we can go nitpick on this and say, well, Trump was president when it happened. This goes back to when he was in the Senate and then when he was vice president. It's a problem for both of them. But, you know, if Biden knew that he had these documents, why would he have done interviews criticizing President Trump and the documents at Mar-a-Lago? Yeah. I think this guy's just, he doesn't know what's in his house. He doesn't know if he's got Fruit Loops in his pantry. I don't think he knows. And that's not a good thing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
not
a
I
good
do
thing.
think there's a cover-up. I think the cover-up is they didn't want it out before the midterm elections. Now, the problem you're going to have with that is you got to completely prove that, and then where does that get us? Obama did the same thing when he was facing re-election. They covered up a story, and the Benghazi story. They tried to cover that story and give it a different narrative. And that was totally done for politics. But what did that end up with? He ended up getting reelected.
I know we'll never know. We'll never see him. But I'd love to know the nature, or at least the topic of the documents. The second thing is, you know,
I would too. Yeah.
There's going to be an investigation here, and I think I just can't imagine that everything that was said about Trump and his family about colluding, that there isn't a further investigation into Hunter Biden, right? The jobs he had, basically he's accused of at some level, influence peddling. There's got to be, I just feel like, I just want to know what the tie is there. what the tie is between Biden, and is there a tie between the documents? My point being, I think we'll learn more about Hunter Biden and his, quote, business dealings and how much Dad knew the further they look into the documents, because he lived at that one of the properties for a while.
You think the documents are tied to that?
I just think there's going to be asking of questions, not necessarily.
That would be a major scandal if you're holding on to documents, and I can't imagine that as vice president he would have classified documents that there wasn't another version of it somewhere. If these are printed, I guess I don't know. Can you print classified documents? What are these documents, and why were they in the hands of the vice president? I think there are a lot of questions that have to be answered.
And I don't necessarily think that, but I think we're going to get answers to some of the Hunter Biden questions because they're looking into this and because he had access there.
Well, let's not forget that they were looking into Hunter Biden going back to William Barr. So it's not like he hasn't. Sooner or later, they got to find something. And if they find something, you either are going to believe one of two things, that they're covering it up or there's nothing there. It's one of the two. So which is it? Someday maybe we'll find out.
But isn't the new standard we investigate presidents for 4 years? We're only halfway through. We got 2 more years of digging on Biden.
Well, here now we have 2 presidents under investigation.
It's great for America.
Is this the new world we live in? This weekend we will be at the Waterfront Grill on Sunday for their big tailgate party. You ready for that, Davey?
Yeah.
Big event. They Rocky and Barb Fiato cook up some amazing food. It's tailgating food, everything from burgers to sausage and peppers, chili, and I don't know what's on the menu, but every year it is incredibly delicious. It's just $25, and one of the charities includes Sleep in Heavenly Peace, which we do a lot with. Love this charity. They raise money to make beds, and they literally make beds for children who don't have beds. I never realized it was even a problem. Anyway, they put together an amazing commercial for this, and I thought I'd play it for you right here. This is Mark Butler and Rocky Fiato doing their theatrics and promoting this Sunday's event in Herkimer at the Waterfront Grill.
I'm Rocky Fiato from the Waterfront Grill.
And I'm Mark Butler. Rock, I'm curious. Were you ever a part of the in crowd?
Well, back in school, my group was always in.
Yeah, in trouble.
But this time, I'll really be part of the in crowd from 1 to 5 on Sunday, January 29th at the Waterfront Grill in Herkimer for our annual tailgate party for charity.
Really? Well, let me in on the details.
Again, we'll have a buffet, raffle, prizes, music, and NFL championship games on our TVs. And admission is just $25.
This year, Rock, Barb, and I will be raising funds for the Herkimer County Hunger Coalition, the County Humane Society, and Sleep in Heavenly Peace, a local nonprofit that builds and donates beds for children who otherwise would have no bedding of their own. And that's the real in place for these kids to be, in a safe, warm, comfortable bed.
Indubitably.
Rock, I got to throw the challenge flag on that word. That's Sunday, January 29th at the Waterfront Grill in Herkimer. Sponsored by WIBX and the Keeler in the Morning Show. You know, the little short guy.
Indubitably.
He can't help himself, Mark Butler. Just cannot help himself. Great event, and they do it every year. Check it out. News is next on WIBX.
Don't catch the wintertime blues. Swing into golf savings at 15 of the area's top courses for $75 with the Town Square 2023 Seize the Deal golf card. Yes, that's right. $75 gets you 15 rounds of golf. Some courses include Shamrock, Crystal Springs, MV Golf, Delta Knolls, Barker Brook, and more. There are a limited number of cards available, so don't delay. Get your $75 Town Square Seize the Deal golf card at seizethedeal.com.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good, healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
2 shootings, 7 deaths, 1 gunman. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
This was a horrific event, one that we would never imagine would occur in San Mateo County.
County Supervisor David Pine. It happened in 2 locations in Half Moon Bay.
Police discovering 4 gunshot victims dead. One other person was rushed to Sanford Medical Center. Then, just about a mile away, 3 other people also discovered shot and killed at Highway 1, where 2 nurseries, including a mushroom farm, are located on the property.
Fox's Zach Sauce with Fox 2 TV San Francisco. The accused gunman worked at one of those locations and may have been disgruntled. He was found and arrested in a sheriff station parking lot. There was also a shootout not far away at a gas station in Oakland. 1 person was killed, 7 wounded, no arrests. An 11th person has died from Saturday's dance studio shooting in Monterey Park. The gunman killed himself there.
We still don't have a motive, but we want to know the motive behind this tragic event.
L.A. County Sheriff Robert Luna. In Des Moines, Iowa, 2 students were shot dead and a teacher wounded. Multiple suspects are in custody. There was a home invasion that police do not believe was random in Chicago.
Chicago police are looking for whomever burst into a residence on the city's south side and shot 5 people, 2 of them fatally. One of the 3 people wounded managed to escape and run to a nearby business to call for help.
Fox's Jack Callahan. President Biden's again calling on Congress to pass stricter gun laws, including a ban on so-called assault rifles. Today marks 11 months since Russia invaded Ukraine. As the war rages, Poland has formally asked Germany to give Ukraine what it desperately wants: tanks.
There are hundreds of German-made Leopard tanks across Europe, but Germany sold these vehicles under the condition they couldn't be passed on, and Germany has been reluctant to allow such potent machinery to engage Russian forces.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Russia warns it could retaliate against countries that supply Ukraine with advanced weapons. The U.S. has refused to send our Abrams tanks. America's listening to Fox News.
My friend had his home stolen. The crime is home title theft. It's real. It's horrendous, but it's real, and it's everywhere. Now, luckily, this was just a demo, but I saw how criminals all around the world target American homeowners, and that's why I protect my home with Home Title Lock, and you need to as well. And a thief can simply forge your signature on a legal document claiming you sold your home to them. Homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs do not protect you, but Home Title Lock does. So protect yourself. Just go to their website. It's HometitleLock.com/Sean, SEAN. Verify your home's title is still safely in your name. Then just register your address for a free, no-obligation home title report for your files. That is a $100 value, absolutely free. That's HometitleLock.com/Sean, HometitleLock.com/Sean, SEAN.
Mostly cloudy skies and 31 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX News Time is 7:03. Officials with the Oneida Indian Nation say they spent more than $250 million with outside vendors across New York State last year and contributed an additional $85 million directly to state and local governments. Those numbers come from an annual economic impact assessment done by the nation. All told, contracts with outside vendors last year totaled $254 million, marking a 34% increase over 2021. That's according to a news release from the nation. The tribe did business with more than 1,300 vendors, including more than 300 in Oneida County, another 400 in Onondaga County, and nearly 170 more in Madison County. And the $85 million sent to local governments comes from the 2013 agreement with New York State to share a portion of slot machine revenues. Officials with Oneida County say they received more than $18 million from the nation through the first 3 quarters of 2022. Opening arguments expected to be heard today in the trial of a Rensselaer County executive who is accused of wrongdoing. Steve McLaughlin, prosecutors claim, stole funds from his campaign when he filed false documents with the State Board of Elections to cover it up. The Republican previously served as a member of the State Assembly. He was arraigned on a felony charge in 2021. He tells the Times-Union the case against him is more of a persecution than a prosecution. Members of the Baldwinsville Central School District Board of Education have voted to accept the resignation of Superintendent Jason Thompson. He pleaded guilty to driving while ability impaired in December after being arrested back in October. He's been on leave since then and will keep getting paid until June 30th. Last night, the board also approved the appointment of Dr. Kathleen Davis, who will begin serving as the district's interim superintendent on February 1st. Memorial service taking place later this week for the 11-year-old girl who was the victim of a deadly shooting in Syracuse last Monday. Brexley Torres Ortiz. Calling hours are set for Thursday from 3 to 6 at the Tucker Missionary Baptist Church in Syracuse. Her funeral is scheduled for Friday morning. Central New York drivers not feeling any relief at the gas pumps. According to AAA, the average price for a gallon of regular fuel in the Utica Rome market is up a nickel over the past week, now at $3.60 a gallon. Our neighbors in Syracuse paying 13 cents less per gallon.
I got to tell you, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, $3.47 their averages.
13 cents less than what we're paying.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, the statewide average is $3.51. So they're paying statewide, the average is almost a dime less. And consider some of the places you've been to downstate where they're charging, $5 a gallon.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, the closer you get to any, the major cities, you're gonna spend more.
Your WIBX Weather Center forecast.
Utica's an incredibly major city, apparently.
Your Weather Center forecast for the city of Utica, Rome, and the surrounding areas. Cloudy skies with some scattered snow showers today. A high reaching 35 degrees. Total daytime snow accumulation of less than an inch is expected. We do have a slight chance of snow showers tonight as well. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and a low of 22. Snow showers for your Wednesday, mainly in the afternoon, a high reaching 32. We could see a couple of inches of snow accumulation tomorrow. And Thursday might get messy. Rain showers and snow showers, possibly mixing with some freezing rain in the morning. Then a rain-snow mix later in the day, eventually changing over to all snow. We'll reach 36 for your high on Thursday, cloudy on Friday with a high of 28. Right now, mostly cloudy, 32. WIBX News Time, 7:07.
All right, we'll talk a little bit about Stefon Diggs coming up in a second. I want your opinion on this, Jeff. But let's start here. The Giants. Here's another place where you could give opinion. The Giants are saying, yeah, we're going to stick with our quarterback.
Well, I just really wish they hadn't said that because I think the real Danny Jones stood up on Saturday night. Well, the real Danny Jones stand up. When you're not playing a horrible defense, he doesn't move the ball that well. And I'm sorry, I felt that way all year. I know a lot of people like him. I'm not saying he's not a good runner. He's not anywhere near the top tier, and you need a top-tier quarterback if you're going to be competing for Super Bowls. So I say, well, you couldn't hear the sound effect, but I think that's a bad move.
The Jets say they're going to scour the earth for a new quarterback.
That's what the Giants should be saying.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be something if, because that's what the band Journey said. We're going to scour the earth for a singer to replace Steve Perry. And out of nowhere, where was he from? Nicaragua or something? They found this guy on YouTube, and he was just brilliant. Yeah. My God, he sounds better than Steve Perry. He sounds more like Steve Perry than Steve Perry himself. I mean, is this what they find some brilliant as they scour the earth?
I hope that, and I know we're talking about the Jets and the Giants, two different teams here, but I hope the Giants scour the earth and they find the real Danny Dimes, because this Danny Dimes is no good. It'd be interesting to see what they do. The whole Zach Wilson thing completely fell apart for the Jets. They drafted him. He was great. I don't know if you caught any of this, but he kind of got he caught headlines and positive hype in the offseason because apparently he had a relationship with his mother's best friend. I don't know if you know that.
I did not know that.
And shortly after that, I don't think it had anything to do with it. He also caught some headlines because I think he had a little swagger in the locker room, and some of the Jets veterans were like, look, Rook, you don't call the shots around here. And ultimately, before he got benched, what was the backup's name? Mike
White.
They were wearing "We Support Mike White" T-shirts at practice.
Wow.
I mean, it totally fell apart there for the Jets.
Wow.
They should do some scouring. That's a horrible story for them.
Davey, you've got lines ringing off the hook. I don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah, that's a crazy story, Jeff. In the NHL, the Rangers roll past the Panthers. Final score 6-2 at Madison Square Garden. The Islanders lost their fifth straight after falling 5-2 to the Maple Leafs in Toronto. The Devils host the Golden Knights tonight. Knicks host the Cavaliers. And tonight in college basketball, we have Syracuse, who is playing at the Dome tonight. And it's a 9 p.m. game against North Carolina. Last night, Colgate won their,
24th conference game in a row.
24th straight Patriot League conference game, and they're 9-0 in the Patriot League.
Wow. 64-51, I think, was the final last night. What another victory. And listen, Colgate continuing. Love to see them back in the tournament. Every year, you never know. How deep can they go? You just don't know. And we'll mention the Comets. The game was postponed back on October 17th because the power went out in the Adirondack Bank Center. It's crazy. People were using their cell phone flashlights to get out. And they said, we'll replay this game. Well, guess what? Tonight is the night. There's like 2 minutes and 3 minutes. 3 minutes. It's under 3 minutes.
Okay.
Like 2:43.
Yeah,
might be
something
right.
like that, right.
Left in the second period. So what we'll do tonight is they'll play that 2 minutes and 43 seconds, and then we'll stop play. Of course, the period will be over. Comets, by the way, are leading 2-1 right now. And then they'll change sides. This is so unique. And then they'll start playing the third period.
Yeah.
Really cool.
It is.
And it's a big 50-50 raffle night tonight at the Adirondack Bank Center. That all begins 7 p.m. tonight at the Odd.
What's the Stefan Diggs story?
I'll get into it coming up in a second. First, though, I want to go to Tanya J. Powers and just dig in if we could, because Dr. Hall's coming up in a few minutes. I want his take as well. But what is the story on the FDA and the vaccine for COVID-19? The brilliant Tanya J. Powers standing by on the line right now. Good morning.
Woo, that is, I don't know if I can live up to brilliant today.
Well,
I've only had one cup of coffee. I don't hit brilliant until at least 2, but we're gonna try.
Well,
okay?
let me just say, you're brilliant. After 2 cups of coffee, we just can't even compete with. So this might be your mediocre, but to us, it's your brilliant. So you know about us upstate people here. Come on.
There's a reason I love being on with y'all. Okay, so let me tell you kind of the nuts and bolts of what the FDA is proposing. This is and by the way, I don't think this is a shock for a lot of folks who've kind of been keeping track of this and thinking maybe one day we would get to the point that the COVID shot would be like the annual flu shot.
Yeah.
That seems to be where we're going. The FDA has proposed a once-a-year COVID shot like the annual flu shot. That means you would no longer have to keep up with, how many shots you've had or how many months it's been since you had your last shot or your booster or whatever. This would work much like, if it's approved, by the way, this is their proposal. And what they're saying is this would work like an annual flu shot. They're going to ask their panel of outside vaccine experts to weigh in. There's a meeting already set for Thursday.
Okay.
And by the way, if you would like to attend this meeting, you can absolutely do so online. Matter of fact, if you just Google FDA Advisory Committee, it will pop right up. That's the first thing you'll see on Google. There's a link right there. You click on it. It's got the different meetings listed. They're all, in the interest of transparency, they're all right there. You can watch hours of this if you would like. The one you're looking for is on Thursday. What they're going to do is ask the panel to vote on whether the vaccine should all target the same strains. That would be needed to make them interchangeable, the shots. Then, each year they would get together with their independent vaccine experts, the manufacturers. They would decide which strains to target by early summer so they could have the shots out by the fall, which is exactly the same thing. That's what they do each year with the flu shots, so they can see, okay, which strains do we think are going to be the most prevalent? What do we need to target, in flu season? For people with weakened immune systems or the very small of us, small children, a 2-dose combination may be needed for protection. But again, that's kind of those 2 groups, we've seen caveats all along for those 2 groups that might need more protection from the virus. So in the long and the short of it is, if this is approved, it would go toward, being like a flu shot does.
You know, it is when we really just take a look at everything we've been through with COVID, and I know it's sometimes hard to even look back with everything that we've gone through, but can you imagine through all of this, we had to get a vaccine card, and you had to show your vaccine card before going into a restaurant to have dinner. Just think about where we were. It's completely unprecedented. We've never seen anything like it. It's not like you ever had to show your flu vaccination to get in or your measles vaccination to get into a restaurant. But that's where we are. So seeing this normalized to the fall, where you combine it with the flu, and that's just what you do every year, I think will help.
Yeah, and if you really think about it, it's taken a very short period of time. I mean, the speed with which they got these vaccines out and boosters out, and there was updated shots for these different strains, because it seems like every week there's a new strain.
Yeah.
And by the way, just to let you know, the COVID cases have ticked up during the winter. We've been seeing, the hospitals, a lot of folks have said their hospitals were, getting overwhelmed. There's between COVID and flu and RSV. In the past week, there have been more than 4,000 new COVID deaths, just to kind of give you an idea of, where it still is.
Not completely going away. That's for darn sure. Tanya, as always, thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Tanya G. Powers from Fox News. Talking about the Stefan, did I lose you? Oh, I thought you were down there. I'm like, where did he go? The Stefan Diggs thing. If I can, for just a second before we break. Davey, I'm wondering your take on this as well. Threw a bit of a tantrum on the sidelines in the Bills divisional round on Sunday afternoon in their loss to the Bengals. This is it's happened during the season as well.
Yeah.
A couple times. And Tony, our Bengals fan, our Minnesota Vikings fan, said this is exactly what it was like when Stefan Diggs played for Minnesota. When everything's going well and everybody's winning, he's, it's my brother. This is, Josh Allen is my brother. We are just in sync. But the minute he's not getting the ball as much as he thinks he should, and they start losing, or they lose a game, all of a sudden he distances himself from the rest of the team and starts crying foul. You should give me the ball. You're not giving me the ball enough. Get the ball up. His actions during the game, when he was basically yelling at Josh Allen on the field, like, get the ball up. What are you doing? I mean, I'm not sure that's the way you want to handle your quarterback.
I completely agree. I would say...
And it got even worse on the sidelines, by the way. Allen was just looking into the iPad, and Diggs was over top of him. Looked like he was yelling at him.
Look, 4 catches for 35 yards. I feel like he should be more of the offense, right? He can't turn around and take that out on the teammates, especially Josh Allen. And I was going to say he had the reputation of kind of being like that in Minnesota, where if he wasn't getting the ball, or at least if the team was losing, he'd be like, give me the damn ball.
Well, and here he's like, he's defending himself on Twitter, saying, you want me to be okay with the level of play when it's not up to the standard? Nah, not going to do it. Easy for everybody to come after me. You want me to be okay with losing? No.
See, can I just, a little different perspective? I understand that this can cause some issues, but I would rather have a Stefan Diggs than an Odell Beckham Jr., because when your team's up 21-0, he's still kicking Gatorade bottles on the sidelines because he doesn't have 2 of the 3 touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where at least when things are good with Diggs, he'll go, all right, we're winning. That's a good thing. And he's saying we weren't playing up to a certain level, and I'm not going to tolerate it. That could ruffle some feathers, but, he's not me. He wants the ball more.
That is in reaction to the fact that he went in, grabbed his stuff out of his locker after the game on Sunday, tried to leave, and somebody stopped him and said, what are you doing? I'm leaving. I'm out of here. No, you got to go back in. I mean, the coaches hadn't even come in. McDermott had not even come into the locker room. And he's leaving. So they finally talked him into coming back. McDermott's excuse for him is saying, listen, he's a very, he's very intense. And let's just look at it this way. He was there for the coaches' meeting. He came back. That must mean something that he came back. I don't know. I just don't know that he did Josh Allen any good on Sunday.
I agree.
When it was going bad. I mean, clearly you've got the world in your head right now if you're Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He seems to be that type of player.
Yeah.
So to be yelling at him on the sidelines, like, get me the ball, get the ball up, I'm not sure that's a way to handle Josh Allen.
I'll just say, I guess I appreciate his passion, but not necessarily his approach. I'd still take him any day over Odell Beckham Jr. miracle
All right.
catches or
All right.
not.
We'll see what comes of the off season for Buffalo.
And heck, if he wants to be quarterback, I'd take Diggs over Daniel Jones any day.
7:20. Hold on. We'll talk to Dr. Kent Hall from MVHS coming up at WIBX.
Hi, this is Scott Hayes.
And this is Jill Hayes from New York Sash.
You know, honey, the first time you said never let a Windows salesperson into your home, I thought you were nuts, but you were right.
Like there was really any doubt.
Seriously, so many people have told us how nice it is to shop in our beautiful showroom where there's never any high pressure.
Yep, and it's even nicer when we can help people save.
Like right now, buy 2 New York Sash windows and get 1 free.
We get slow during the winter and we need to stay busy, so you get the best deal we make all year. Buy 2 windows, get 1 free.
Buy 4, get 2 free.
Buy 6 windows, get 3 free. There's no end to the savings.
And there's no need to invite a pushy salesperson into your home. Instead, stop by the New York Sash Idea and Design Center, where you can browse at your convenience.
We're open Monday through Saturday on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro.
Buy 2 windows, get 1 free, but it ends Monday, so come in today. And as always,
let our family take care of your family.
Blending bluegrass and jam band music, Chicken Wire Empire brings a contemporary spin to its Midwest stylings. Hear what Jamgrass is all about when the band performs for the Concerts in the Court series at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, February 4th at Munson Williams in downtown Utica. Enjoy live music in the intimate setting of the museum's Root Sculpture Court.
For information on tickets, call 315-797-0055 or visit MWPAI.org. Sponsored by Elizabeth Lemieux.
Worried about how the effects of high gas prices and inflation in 2022 and a poor economy outlook in 2023 will continue to affect your household's finances? Times are challenging, but managing your money doesn't have to be. Through coaching from Christine Spiak and Compass Financial Wellness, you will learn how to create healthy money habits once and for all. Remove the money stress from your life and start living out your dreams today with Compass Financial Wellness. Book a complimentary appointment today at compassfinancialwellness.com. That's compassfinancialwellness.com.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Hey, the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio shows from Daylight Donuts. In New Hartford, coffee, espresso, lattes, iced coffee. And, of course, there's the breakfast sandwiches and the homemade bagels and the freshly made bagels, and freshly made donuts every day at Daylight Donuts. The drive-thru, quick, you're in and out, and you're on your way. Chuck Sedella and everybody over there always want to make sure that drive-thru is moving quickly. And think about a box of coffee to take to work. It's Seattle's best at Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Okay, we have Dr. Kent Hall standing by right now on the line. Good morning, Doc, from MVHS.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good. Let's, if we could, talk about the latest news from the FDA, where there's the suggestion that what we're going to be looking at is the COVID vaccine once a year. What do you think?
Yeah, so this is something that we've been really kind of expecting probably for the last 6 to 9 months, maybe a little bit longer. As we move out of the pandemic phase and into this being more of an endemic type of disease, where and it does have a seasonal component to it, then we are looking to transition from a vaccination standpoint to being similar to what we do with the flu. Where we will have, where we know that there are spikes during the winter months, whether in the northern or southern hemisphere. Obviously, winter months are different, and because of that, we will go to one vaccination time frame. There is some there is some difference as it relates to different populations, people who are more vulnerable, whether it's the elderly, the people with significant comorbidities, or very young kids whose immune system is not completely developed. And the recommendation there is that we would have 2 shots instead of just 1. So this is something not entirely unexpected. I think it's a good thing. The fact that we now have the bivalent vaccine, which actually seems to be working very well against the current variants, and we will continue to modify it based on what has been circulating recently. I think that all indicates that we're, moving into what I would describe as a new level of normalcy for this particular disease.
Let's hope, right?
Yeah, obviously there is an X factor, what I call an X factor, and the X factor here is, what happens as more variants come up. One of the big differences between COVID and the flu is that the flu doesn't mutate as readily. There are, circulating variants that occur, and, one or the other may become the predominant one that's really based on, just what happens to be occurring, as opposed to with COVID, it's really more about, the virus itself, the antigenic characteristic of the virus actually changes, and it changes a little more rapidly than what the flu does. So we'll have to see as we roll this out. Well, first of all, assuming that it gets approved, as we roll this out, I'm sure that there will be continued monitoring to make sure that this is the right course of action.
And Doc, would you anticipate that this would be? Obviously, there were lawsuits over this. Some workplaces required the shot. This wouldn't be required, but there would be an annual shot available for those who wanted to do it, or it would be required.
Well, I think it depends. So I will tell you that there is a requirement for healthcare workers in New York State that we get a flu vaccine, or if we don't, that we have to take mitigating factors. So, prior to COVID, what that meant was that if you chose not to get the vaccine, or you could not get the vaccine if you had, significant allergies or whatever, then you actually had to wear a mask while you were in the hospital at work. And we have, in the Mohawk Valley Health System, we have little stickers on our name badges that show that we have gotten the flu vaccine every year. So it wouldn't surprise me if for certain populations of workers, i.e. healthcare workers, that would continue to be the case. For the general population, I think you're right. I think that it would be more of a this is what we recommend for you, and then again we'll have to see how that plays out in terms of keeping this as more of an endemic issue and less of a pandemic issue. I will also say that COVID has not gone away. As of yesterday, we had 39 patients in the Mohawk Valley Health System that were admitted to the hospitals with COVID. Wow. So it has spiked a little bit over the last couple weeks. And that is something also that we're looking at. This is actually a little bit later than what we would have anticipated for that, based on what happens with the spike that you normally get after the holidays.
So we are. I have just a couple quickies here. We're at a point now where it's been a while. I remember when COVID first came out, and there was just a lot of talk about this is really just the flu. It's really no different than the flu. We heard a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot, but there was that alternate argument out there saying it's just the flu. So now that you can look back at the numbers, when you say you've got 39 people in the hospital right now with COVID, how many are there with the flu? And how does COVID compare to the flu?
So I will pull those numbers up right now, but I will tell you that the number of patients that were admitted with the flu as of yesterday was a little bit of a drum roll here, I think. In the Mohawk Valley Health System, we had 1 patient admitted with the flu.
So it's a significant difference.
It is a significant difference. And again, the number of people that end up dying related to COVID is much higher than that related to the flu. They tend to attack the same population of patients, the elderly, people with significant medical health problems, diabetes, lung problems, heart problems. But COVID is much more significant in terms of the disease process that it causes. And, many more people have died of COVID than have died of the flu over the last 3 years.
And then finally, what is the current protocol? Because it's gotten a bit confusing. I can say this. In the beginning, when someone got COVID, it was like, oh, my God.
Leprosy.
Right. You feel like this could be the end. I hope you can make it through this. That was in the beginning. Then we learned a little more, and we learned a little more. It still is an issue. If you have medical issues, it's still a great danger. But where are we today? Because I just had a situation where I had a meeting last week, had to cancel because the person came down with COVID. They were positive. So what should you do?
Yeah, so, again, if you, I would say that, the initial COVID, number one, was attacking a completely, what I would call a virgin population. It had never seen it before. And so it really ran rampant. Over the last 3 years, number one, a number of people have developed either natural immunity or vaccinated immunity, and so there is relative protection. That's number one. Number two is that the virus itself has changed. It has become much more transmissible. These new variants, especially the Omicron variants, much more transmissible. But it also seems to not cause as severe disease. And that's not surprising. That's kind of what viruses do in general. Not always, but in general. They become more transmissible but less likely to kill the host, because all they want to do is make little viruses. And in doing that, if you kill your host, then the chance of making more viruses goes down. So that's an evolutionary thing. So, yes, there is relative protection there. I think actually what you're seeing in China is the mirror image of that, where they had such a huge lockdown that people didn't get their natural immunity from being infected, and you're seeing that run rampant through their population. So, what you should do is basically, be smart and be smart for yourself, and, be thoughtful for other people. And I would say something that we didn't do in the pre-COVID era, when we had the flu or whatever, is we would go to work. And now, when you get COVID or when you get the flu, the best thing that you can do is stay home, not expose other people to it, and to take care of yourself so that you will actually get better faster. And so that's really not, it's a change in our behavior, but not actually a change in the recommendations.
I struggle with that one. I mean, even Christmas week there, I was like, when can I come back? When can I come back? And I had to be talked into just sit it out this week. There'll be more shows in the future. Question here from FX in New Hartford.
Oh, that's debatable. I mean, what is and is not a show?
Does Dr. Hall think the vaccine mandates were effective? And if we ever get a variant as bad as COVID was when it first started, does he think we should have a mandate again?
So good question. So do I think that the vaccine that the mandates, whether it's the vaccine mandates or the masking mandates, were effective? I would say yes. They were effective, and you can look at different graphs to actually show how effective they were, or how much protection they afforded. If there is a radical change and it actually becomes, even more deadly, would I think that, that might spur people, whether it's government regulators, whoever, to say, what, we need to protect our population? I think that's possible, but I don't think it's very likely, simply because I just don't think it's likely that the virus would mutate into a more deadly phase.
As you just
possible,
explained.
But it's not very likely.
Right. Excellent.
Okay, Doc. And by the way, if you get it, is it 5 days from the first symptom? I mean, what is it now?
So what we're saying is, in general, it is 5 days from the time that you test positive. If you're not testing and you develop symptoms, then it's 5 days from the time that you developed symptoms.
Ultimately, I don't care if you have COVID, if you have the flu, or you have a cold, or whatever it is. Stay the hell away from me.
Yeah.
That's just
Bill
how I
doesn't
feel.
like to shake hands with healthy people, let
alone the sick ones.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Should we call Bill Monk?
Thank you for that. All right, Doc. We appreciate it as always. Have a wonderful week. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Please have a great day, and please be safe.
Yep, you do the same.
Thank you, Dr. Kent Hall.
We mentioned Jimmy Fallon, and Jimmy has added a fifth show to his performance run at Fat Cats Comedy Club. All the 7 o'clock shows have sold out. The 9:15 shows have sold out. And there's one left that is now already halfway full.
Wow. You guys like him, don't you?
What in the hell is going on here?
What do you think? He's funny?
There's a 5 p.m. matinee that has been added. It is February 18th. February 18th, which is a Saturday. The afternoon show begins at 5 p.m. If you're interested, you can get there at fatcatscomedyclub.com and get your tickets.
And if you're on the fence about this, think about this. I go through this every year. Not only do you struggle to see the sunshine in February, but this is the weekend, the first weekend after football goes away for the season, right? Where like a lot of men my age are like, I don't know what to do with my free time anymore. What am I going to do? When football ends, there you go. You got an event to look forward to the weekend after the Super Bowl. What are those? Those tickets have been available for one day for the 5 o'clock show. You're half sold out.
One day.
If you're on the fence, get your tickets now because you're not going to have a chance.
Yeah, and there are some surprises. I got to tell you that we've talked to him about a few things that we can't say yet, but will be revealed when he's on the air here with us on that Friday morning. Pretty excited about what he's talking about. Davey, you wanted, you're good with that matinee show?
Whatever. Yeah.
I mean, what does that mean?
I'm whatever you want to do.
You have to put a camera in there. God almighty. Even better than his answer was his facial expression.
Are you saying it's because once you go at 5, you can hang out?
Yeah, I'll go.
Do you want you're going to go if I put you in there?
Sure, I'll be there with bells on.
All right, good. I can't wait. So it's official. You are now locked in.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, very cool.
Oof. Man, I wasn't sure that he wanted to do it.
No.
Let's do our.
You got to get a camera on Smitty.
We are working on it.
You have some good facial expressions, buddy.
All right, so let's do our free money question of the day. What do you think of that, Davey?
I think it's a good idea.
All right, you're on a nice mojo streak here this morning.
No Stephon Diggs in there.
Let's do question number or caller number
4.
Fourth caller through the lines. Let's keep it moving here. Giving, when I say moving, let's keep the winning going. The winning ways going. Give away $100 if a bike is money. Caller 4 right now. We'll do the contest next on WIBX.
We invest in Herkimer and Oneida counties.
We work with the community to make things better for old and young alike.
Today, tomorrow, and in the years to come.
Every day, we put the community's long-term savings to work.
Who are we?
We are the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties.
FoundationHOC.org.
We're your community foundation.
Working to build a vibrant region
with opportunity for all.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
River Hills Properties remains the fastest growing real estate company in Central New York. This is Bill Keeler. When my wife and I decided we were selling our home, we chose River Hills Properties for several reasons. One of them because the listing agent is there every time we show the house. That made all the difference in the world. The book, 30 to 100 pages filled with everything about the house, from the furnace, the warranties, everything was there. If you're looking to sell your home, contact Bill and Robin Monjo at River Hills Properties. Nobody sells homes like River Hills. Bonneville, Utica, and Little Falls.
Blending bluegrass and jam band music, Chicken Wire Empire brings a contemporary spin to its Midwest stylings. Hear what jam grass is all about when the band performs for the Concerts in the Court series at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, February 4th at Munson Williams in downtown Utica. Enjoy live music in the intimate setting of the museum's Root Sculpture Court.
For information on tickets, call 315-797-0055 or visit mwpai.org. Sponsored by Elizabeth Lemieux.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, I got to tell you, kids are waking up today. Teachers waking up today. Staff in the front office, school nurses, librarians. You mean we've got to go to school on time today? What the heck are you talking about?
No.
Because it's been like Thursday, Friday, and Monday. They've been dealing with delays.
It was like a mini vacation, I feel like.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is. It's been a while since we've spoken with him. He's here on the line, and very proud to have him here. The one and only RV from Westmoreland. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing without.
Doing without what?
Without a beer.
Without a
beer in my hand.
Oh, are you doing dry January?
No, I'm not doing without a dry January. I'm waiting for the bar to open.
I said to somebody the other day, there's dry January, and then I couldn't remember what it was called, but it's like where you cut back.
It's damp, right?
I called it moist, and people are like, ooh, that's disgusting. I hate that word.
I don't know
I
why
like a wet one. I don't want a moist one. I want a wet one.
I don't understand why people are so offended by that
the
word.
word moist.
They think it sounds horrible. I don't get it.
I don't either. Okay, RV, here we go with your question.
Yeast is kind of
make
offensive.
it easy. Make it easy. I need 100.
All right, well, let's see if we can. Yeah, because think of the beers you can buy, especially if you go to the right bar. You can get a really good price on the beer.
I can tell you what. I can get 20. I can get 40 beers.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Wow, $2.50 a pop.
That's good. All right,
that's 2 days worth.
all right. That's well. We don't want to keep you held up here. I don't want to keep you. I better get moving. All right, here we go. Here's your question. And this is it's a sports question, so I don't know if this is for you, but let's see what happens. In the 2018 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills used their first-round pick on two players. One of them, 19-year-old linebacker Tremaine Edmonds. The other was this player. Ready, go.
The quarterback.
Okay, yep. What's his name? How do we handle that?
RV, I'm sorry. I'll buy you a beer, but I don't think we can give you the $100 for that answer.
Yeah, because that is the right answer. I mean, it's the right. It is.
Josh
the
Allen was
quarterback.
the answer?
Josh Allen is the answer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, the quarterback is the right answer, too.
You have a point there, but he was looking for a name. I mean, could you say...
I said, what's the name of the... yeah. It is Hobica's money. It's not even ours.
Yeah, that's true. But then again, it's like the whole Biden thing.
I'll have to get my nephew after. He's a lawyer.
Oh, no.
I'll get Keith Bowers after you, just as sure as hell.
That's great. I like Keith. Okay, what do we all think on this?
I'm sorry. I have to vote no. I have to vote no. Just because
no?
of the Biden standard. If I say yes, then I have to say yes to everybody who's close.
All right. Davey, what's your vote? Does he get it or does he not? He said quarterback, not Josh Allen.
No.
He says no. All right. All right, RV, but here's what we are going to do for you.
Wait a minute. Now, is Josh Allen the quarterback?
Josh Allen is the quarterback. I'm just gonna give it to him. Okay. I'm gonna give it to him. Yeah. I'm gonna give it to him. Otherwise, Keith Bowers is coming after us. We can't have that.
Bill feels like the fight is worth more than $100.
No, it's not my money. That's what I'm looking at. All right, here you go. Congratulations, RV. You win $100 by.
Thank you very much.
By debate here this morning, and we'll give you the all-in-one food card. It's the food and fun card from Mohawk Valley Garden. $25 at Aquavino or Babes, 72 Tavern and Grill, Taylor and the Cook, and the Adirondack Bank Center's concession stands. And it's also good at Nexus.
And RV, are you a music guy? Do you like maybe some bluegrass, jam band type stuff?
No, I don't. No, I'm not into that. No, I'm not.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, we'll give it to the next.
He's not into anything but money.
Okay.
All right. Stand by, RV. Congratulations. You win from
beer.
And beer. Which money gets you beer. You win from the Hobica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica. And I'm sure I'll hear from Joe later. Stand by,
and
Dave.
I thank you very much.
Davey's going to hook you up, okay? All right.
Okay.
I really felt at one point where we were either going to give him the money or he was going to kill us.
Well, you can't say that nowadays.
You're right. You can't.
You can't say that.
But I think
he was going to kick my butt, though.
Technically, he had to be more specific. But I'll give it up. Technically, it was the quarterback. So he was correct in that answer. That's why I'm like, well, let's just give it to him. I mean, right? Let's just.
It's not your money.
It's not my money. Katie Aiello, do you agree with that?
Yes.
I mean,
good morning.
What are you going to do? Just give him the money.
I thought it was a clever answer.
It was a clever answer when he didn't know the answer, right? That's a clever answer. Okay. Good morning, Katie Aiello. How are you?
Good. Good morning. Does it smell like Mexican food?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I had to, Jeff.
It's terrible, isn't it? Oh, my Lord.
No.
I'm telling you.
You do smell it, though, don't you?
It was there, but it's not offensive.
Wafting through the
There's so many worse things to smell.
Through the hallways.
Somebody decided they were going to make tacos at 11:30 at night, and I had my jacket hung over the back of the chair, and I think it just absorbed all the smells from the kitchen.
Onions especially, and if there's any garlic, it'll always absorb. Michael this morning says, give RV $50. He should have gotten half of it, but I've already given him the 100, so it is what it is. Okay, so a study has been done and a survey has been done, right? So these are the results. So we're getting results in from the survey on complete streets in Utica. Are you exhausted by this whole complete streets issue?
I think I have my second wind.
You do?
It was,
okay.
It was. It's been a long 90 days.
Not
just because of the street aspect, but.
I mean, you've been yelled at. Has anybody yelled at you like right out? I'll just. Screw it. I'm going to yell at you.
Only, the people online behind
There's a lot of
the
that.
screen. And that's really it. Otherwise, in person, you get a lot of constructive feedback, and it's just good conversations about it.
It is funny how in person people are, for the most part, more polite.
Yes, and we're grateful for that, by the way.
But not everybody.
No.
Not everybody.
I used to work for Apple, and it's funny, working with people and fixing their computers, they would yell at you. But then I went and then I did Apple Care, which... You're on the phone, you get even angrier. Then I switched to text.
I didn't know you did that. I did not know you did that.
But then I went to chats, and you got screamed at. Obviously, it's caps lock, but you can sense it. So every time you remove, I think that human dynamic, people just get a lot ruder. So
what is caps? And by the way, what is what model is that MacBook?
This year, I think.
Is it? Is it a brand new one?
It is.
Oh,
that looks like an HDMI. That's an HDMI.
It is
connector on the side
not
there.
HDMI. Oh yes.
What is that? It is.
Yep. So
that's
now
nice.
We can do something to track all the data of the cars on the streets. And
Okay. I'm a Mac guy. I never miss a conference. I'm always there watching on my Apple TV. So
nice.
I'm a junkie.
He likes shiny things and the light reflected off the
Exactly,
Apple.
caught your eye. It was
it's
glistening.
so weird. The minute you walk in, I'm like,
what
are the connectors there? She's got the...
That's a good eye. I've never even really looked at that. It had an SD card, so I was happy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and it has
this
an
isn't about
SD
streets
card.
at all.
I don't even know how you got that. Okay, let's talk about the numbers. And I know there are people that have been vocal and vocally against this.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is those people have been loud, but what have others had to say, and where do the numbers roll out? How do we look?
Did you want to?
Well, I was just going to say. So it's my understanding the survey. Will you guys be presented with the numbers today? And I guess we want to talk about where we go from here. But yeah, more on the feedback, the positive.
Oh, so you
and the
don't
negative.
have the numbers?
They don't have the exact numbers yet from that survey, correct?
Right. Well, we did just get an email late last night, about numbers, but I was confused because yesterday was technically the last day of the trial till midnight, so we don't have yesterday. If anybody did a survey yesterday, we don't have that data. But
you got the numbers up till yesterday?
Oh, great.
Yes.
Okay.
So that said, I was saying even before on, I did a Complete Streets trial video. If anybody wants to see it, it's a 20-minute recap, katieforutica.com. But otherwise, I said, I think for the most part, I think the most honest answer is people don't care. And then, and I mean that in a good way. And part of that is, it's only the absence of safety when you start to notice things. So if they're going about their day, things are smooth sailing. And then I think from my standpoint, when I was looking at it, I think more people liked it than didn't. And obviously, I'm right there in downtown Utica with my business at Character Coffee, and just people are coming and going.
Well, chances are if they're coming in and they're talking to you, they're going to be, most likely those people would be positive. Because then you'll get the people like...
Have you met the characters?
Well, that's a good point. However...
But, yes.
Very good point. But I could see people saying, I'm not going into her place. Totally. I can't stand this.
But then when I'm at Goldens and Mellows, and you get a good slate. But so that was always a factor. So then looking at these numbers, it is so early. I don't even know if... Do you want me to go off of these?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Hear what you have.
I think so there were a lot of questions on it. I think the biggest one that you can look at is, what would you like to see these changes to Genesee Street and other streets in the city? Now, it was 8% said unsure. 46.39% said yes. 45.42% said no.
So, wow. So you got it's a split group.
It's about, that was without the last day. I knew, so who knows how many people more said no or said yes yesterday?
Well, and what weight is this survey carrying, really? It's just giving us an indicator, right?
Yeah,
Nothing
I
more
think
than that.
it's a way to just quantify what was nice and is nice is so we've had over 1,000 people engage with the survey. That's amazing.
Okay.
And there's been over 500 comments, very detailed of their experiences and what they liked, what they don't. So that's, I think, where we're really going to get into it. I'm looking forward to seeing an analyst.
Now, they had to go to the survey?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then I think what would be cool next is a breakdown by age. What is it? So people are biking.
I would tell you my approach on these surveys.
Yeah.
If you have to go to the survey, it's very interesting because if you're really against it, you're inspired to go.
Sure.
I don't know how many people are really for it, but there are probably people who are really for it, like yourself.
There are.
Those people would go, but the average person probably is not going to participate in the in the poll. And i.e. the fact that you have 1,000 people there. But I do find it interesting when you said most people just don't care. I think there's a lot more of those out there that are like,
that's the honest answer.
Whatever, I'm going to drive through there. If I've got to cross the line to park at the Stanley to bring in my tractor trailer, I'm going to cross the lines. I just don't. I do think that if there was a median going down the middle, that would you'd get a lot more reaction, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So can I say as well, I wanted to go focus on that as well, the idea that, and I know, I'm not saying most people don't care, like Katie said. It's most people, as you pointed out,
Don't
are indifferent.
notice,
I'm going to
maybe,
drive
is the
this
word.
road and be here, whether it's 2 lanes or 3 lanes or 4 lanes. Just figure out what you want to do. Let me know what it is, and I'll do it. Right?
Yeah.
And then you get those who are really moved one way or the other, and those are the ones who want to speak out.
And I think it's stupid, but I have bigger things to worry about right now. I think there are some of those people. I'm for it, but I have bigger things to worry about right now. So you have a lot of indifference.
One of the parts I want to focus on, I've said this before, even on the show, but I kept saying with Complete Streets, I didn't think this trial should we go back to 4 lanes or keep it as is? The question is, how does Complete Streets best look in Utica? And I want to reiterate, those 4 lanes were designed for 15,000 to 20,000 plus cars a day. We were seeing, our traffic data viewers showed us numbers of 9,400. Anything below 10,000 is a perfect candidate for Complete Streets. And from the numbers and data I've been collecting over the past, for about 2 weeks of numbers we have, is showing less than 9,000 cars even. So
you think that'll change when the hospital's open?
It will change by, so that's another thing. The hospital traffic impact study shows 1,800 cars coming downtown. 5.9% of those cars, of 1,800, which means 100 cars, will be going on Genesee Street. So our Genesee Street numbers only changed by about 100. it's things like State Street I'm concerned for. That's going to get 10% of those cars. So Little State Street's going to see 200 more.
Right.
So the conversation comes from, yes, let's look at complete streets even over there. How do you create these traffic calming measures, not to make driving more difficult, not to reduce your accessibility to things, but actually just the opposite.
This is an argument that's being had all over the country, and in a lot of cases, it's Democrat-run cities that in your larger metropolitan areas tend to lean Democrat anyway, lean a little more liberal. This does seem like it's more of a liberal than conservative concept.
I mean, I stand by. It's been said before. I don't know why we would politicize a public safety issue.
I understand, but would you agree, though, that it leans liberal? It seems to be happening. You're not seeing it in conservative areas. You're seeing it more in liberal areas.
I mean, we're even looking at, Little Falls is getting bike lanes. So I don't know if I totally agree with, I see your sentiment overall.
Little Falls is a Democrat-run city.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But there they are in Herkimer County holding down the fort.
Which is very Republican.
Then maybe that is.
There's one Democratic stronghold, two if you count
I know
Frankfurt.
Rome is pro-bike lane. So yeah, maybe that is a part of it.
But it is an argument that people are having around the country. This is happening all over the country.
I'm confused why it's an argument. As like a debate standpoint.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not saying it should or shouldn't be. I'm just saying it is.
Yeah, and there is a change to the traffic flow, and people get upset about a lot of things. So, look, at the end of the day, when you consume those numbers and you feel however you feel, and other counselors, who decides whether this stays, whether this goes, whether we extend the trial period? Is there adjustment? Is that determined by the council, the mayor? What happens with the
mayor and public safety commissioner has reign to continue on. Well, not continue, but to do whatever they want with the road. The council, from what I understand, is we could object it, or we could make our own request and say, and then, so I think the next part of this, obviously the road doesn't just magically go back to 4 lanes right now because the trial's technically over. Right. I think this part means now it's the debriefed stage. So I've never at one point looked at this, said, yes, let's get this done. Let's, whatever happens, who cares what anybody says? And I think people forget, like, this is the feedback stage. This is the compromise.
Yeah.
That's why it wasn't made permanent. And I'm not saying everything's magical and great just because I like what's happening. There are parts that need improvement, and those are all being looked at from our engineering and state DOT. When we're crossing that bridge from North Utica to into Genesee Street, that turning merging part is getting looked at and corrected. Part of it, probably them looking at to see, are we definitely keeping this, or at least trying it longer before they do their half?
Can I give you a comment? This person, I see near accidents every day on Genesee. How stupid is it to merge for a few feet and then have a turn lane for a few feet? It's constant weaving. Some people totally ignore it and just stay in the left lane, wait until the hospital opens. It's going to be a blank show.
A blank show, yes. I think that merging comment came from identifying and looking at that.
Yeah.
And also, that's the other part. People live here in downtown. I think some people forget that I have hundreds and hundreds of constituents on that block where this little trial is happening currently. And they walk, they have wheelchairs. The more cars there are, the more we want to make sure that people aren't.
Why not do this the way it's done with everything else? Government just does it. People complain about it, but it's done. I almost feel like this debate that we're having will go nowhere. And your survey, which is not scientific but interesting, really tells the story. You got half of the people for it, half of the people against it, and a group that doesn't even care. Why not just just do it?
There you are. I think, and that's what I've been wondering for 10 years since this was proposed in 2012. So here I come along.
We'll complain, just like the roundabouts. We'll complain about it.
And that's kind of been why obviously the trial rollout could have been,
And can I just say my own personal opinion? I love the roundabouts. I really do. It's
I
so
do
much
too.
quicker.
What a contrarian.
The only thing I don't like about the roundabouts are the people that don't like the roundabouts
and don't know how to use them.
Sit there and like blink their lights at me.
Like you're the one wrong.
Like I'm the one in the wrong. No, you're in the circle. You're coming at me. I'm the one that I have to wait. And then they stop, blink their lights, and wave me, and I go. It's like, okay, all right.
I want to say, though, to the person who said that the accident's happening, I've been getting traffic crash reports.
They said near accidents.
Oh, near accidents. Okay, because
Yep.
that would be correct. There aren't.
And then just one more real quick. I don't know who this Ed wants to know who powers the study. It says who powers her to do the study and make changes. Where did the money come from? But this is we should be clear. This is a city thing. You didn't do this survey.
I requested the trial.
Yeah.
And this survey was done by the city urban economic department. But and what was the last question?
Where did the money come from?
Stand by. We'll do a few more out of the news here. Just a couple more questions that people have, and I'd like to throw them at you if we could. Stand by. WIBX Utica Rome. It's 8:00.
Was he disgruntled when he attacked coworkers? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's a big question in California after the second mass murder in 3 days.
It's a tragedy that we hear about far too often, but today it's hit home here in San Mateo County.
Sheriff Christina Corpus.
Police have identified 67-year-old Chun-Li Zhao as the man who shot 7 of his fellow farm workers dead yesterday, injuring 1 more. This shooting happened between 2 different locations in the outskirts of Half Moon Bay.
He was found in a sheriff's station parking lot later,
where authorities had spotted him sitting in a car. He was pulled from the vehicle and placed under arrest.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. Police have no arrests yet in a gas station shootout not far away in Oakland last night that killed 1 person, wounded 7 others. It's up to 11 people dead after Saturday's mass shooting in Los Angeles County, shot by a gunman who killed himself. The motive, still not known.
He has a limited criminal history with an arrest in 1990 for an unlawful possession of a firearm.
L.A. County Sheriff Robert Luna says California's gun laws are strict, but still not working, so there are calls to make them stricter, there and nationwide. Here's Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer.
It's clear that the prevalence of guns in our country has made tragedies like this one too frequent.
And President Biden's urging Congress to ban so-called assault weapons. Republicans say more restrictions punish law-abiding gun owners. 3 sheriff's deputies recovering in Kansas that after a man opened fire at a traffic stop that turned into a chase, he was shot dead. 5 Tennessee ex-cops fired earlier this month over a traffic stop in Memphis remain under investigation. They're all black. So is the man they're accused of battering after he ran. Tyree Nichols died 3 days later. Family attorney Ben Crump says body cam video was horrific, claiming Nichols was treated like a human piñata.
You know, regrettably, it reminded us of Rodney King video.
Referencing the 1991 police beating that led to riots in Los Angeles. America's listening to Fox News.
My friend had his home stolen. The crime is home title theft. It's real. It's horrendous, but it's real, and it's everywhere. Now, luckily, this was just a demo, but I saw how criminals all around the world target American homeowners, and that's why I protect my home with Home Title Lock, and you need to as well. And a thief can simply forge your signature on a legal document claiming you sold your home to them. Homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs do not protect you, but Home Title Lock does. So protect yourself. Just go to their website. It's HometitleLock.com/Sean, SEAN. Verify your home's title is still safely in your name. Then just register your address for a free, no-obligation home title report for your files. That is a $100 value, absolutely free. That's HometitleLock.com/Sean, HometitleLock.com/Sean, SEAN.
Still cloudy, 32 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by Baird Private Wealth Management, a strong financial partner for 100 years. Visit bairdoffices.com/Utica. Officials with the Oneida Indian Nation say they spent more than $250 million with outside vendors across New York State last year and contributed an additional $85 million directly to state and local governments. Those numbers come from an annual economic impact assessment done by the nation. All told, contracts with outside vendors in 2022 totaled $254 million, marking a 34% increase over 21. The tribe also did business with 1,300 vendors, or more than 1,300 vendors, including more than 300 in Oneida County, another 400 in Onondaga County, and nearly 170 in Madison County. And the nation's capital project spending is also tripling 2022 over 2021, and of the $85 million sent to local governments, that comes from the 2013 agreement with New York State to share a portion of slot machine revenues. Officials with Oneida County say they received more than $18 million from the nation through the first 3 quarters of 2022. A further breakdown of those numbers on our website. Members of the Baldwinsville Central School District Board of Education voting to accept the resignation of Superintendent Jason Thompson. He pleaded guilty to DWAI in December after being arrested back in October. Thompson has been on leave, and he'll keep getting paid until June 30th. Last night, the board also approved the appointment of Dr. Kathleen Davis, who will begin serving as the interim superintendent beginning on February 1st. Memorial services taking place later this week for the 11-year-old girl who was the victim of a deadly shooting in Syracuse while walking home from the store. Calling hours set for Thursday from 3 to 6 at the Tucker Missionary Baptist Church in Syracuse. Her funeral is scheduled for Friday morning. Opening arguments will come today in the trial of Rensselaer County Executive Steve McLaughlin. Prosecutors claim the Republican stole funds from his campaign and then filed false documents with the State Board of Elections to cover it up. McLaughlin, who previously served as a member of the State Assembly, was arraigned on felony charges in 2021. He tells the Times-Union the case against him is more of a persecution than a prosecution. And a new development in the ongoing legal case involving Nexium founder Keith Rainier. The Times-Union reporting that Rainier's lawyer will be in New York City today, arguing on behalf of his client, asking an appeals court to disqualify the judge who oversaw the trial from hearing his bid to get a new trial. There is a claim that the judge holds a bias against Rainier. The 62-year-old Rainier currently serving a sentence of 120 years in prison. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for mostly cloudy skies. We do have a chance of some scattered snow showers today, a high reaching 35. Chance of snow showers through the overnight tonight as well. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and a low of 22. Wednesday, snow showers mainly after 1 p.m. Tomorrow's high 32 degrees. We could see another 2 inches of snow accumulation tomorrow, and a mess on tap for Thursday right now. Rain showers and snow showers early, possibly mixing with some freezing rain. Then rain and snow, eventually turning to all snow later in the day. We'll have a high on Thursday of 36. Right now, mostly cloudy and 32. WIBX News Time is 8:06.
Okay, from the IBEW Sports Desk, here we go. The Giants are making their intentions regarding Daniel Jones transparent. They're saying he stays.
Boo.
And Manaski's not happy at all
No,
about
I'm
that.
not. Can you, what's the language they use there?
They're saying they're making this is interesting. They're making their intentions regarding Daniel Jones transparent. The management said on Monday, season-ending press conference, that they would like Daniel to remain with the team.
They would like him to.
He will become a free agent. We would like him to remain with the team.
I hope the argument for Daniel Jones, keeping him or not, is similar to my argument for buying a Cadillac. I'd love to keep him, but I just don't have the money for a Cadillac right now. So sorry, it's going to have to go to somebody else.
I almost feel like this
Be on your way.
is the difference between we'd like to keep him as quarterback versus he will be our quarterback next year. Those are two very different statements. So to be continued, I think, to be honest. However, the Jets say they are going to scour the earth for a new quarterback. Scour the earth. What does that mean? In the NHL, the Rangers roll past the Panthers 6-2 at Madison Square Garden. The Islanders just lost their fifth straight game. They fell 5-2 to the Maple Leafs in Toronto. The Devils host the Knights, the Golden Knights tonight. The Knicks host the Cavaliers. And we'll tell you that last night, Colgate, 64-51 winners over Boston University. And, Davey, that was what number win?
Number 24
They're
in the Patriot League, a 9-0.
24th straight Patriot League win. They are 9-0 on the season right now. Tonight, the Comets host Wilkes-Barre at 7, and they currently lead 2-1. There is just under 3 minutes to play in the second period. It'll be a resumed game from the 17th of October when the lights went out in Georgia.
I want to get in on that 50-50.
I don't know where it is right now, but it's probably up there pretty good. And they've taken several games, or a handful of games, the 50-50 all combined, and that will continue through the week. Also tonight, Syracuse, the Orange, will host University of North Carolina, UNC, at the Dome tonight at 9 p.m. That game, 9 p.m., is on ESPN. Anything else?
I've got a couple comments here that we can get into as well.
This is on the Complete Streets?
Yes, this is on the Complete Streets. We've got
Katie Aiello, council person in Utica, is in studio, and we have a few
On
comments
that
here.
survey question, the survey cost us nothing. That was the last segment that we just did.
Yes.
But yeah, just to
Was
reiterate.
it Survey Monkey?
Yes.
You can create free stuff,
we have
right? Yeah.
subscriptions.
So actually, a comment here on that. Good
Could people
morning.
only vote once?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Oh, really?
What'd you do?
Well, no, I actually didn't vote, but a comment here from somebody I think would know said, "Good morning. I'm not being negative. Just make sure to note that the same people can vote over and over on that poll. I agree with Bill. You would need a pollster to do an actual survey to get accurate.
You got to reach out. You can't expect people.
So one doesn't want us to spend money. One wants us to spend more money. But other than that, it was
Well, which
once
is it though? Could you vote more than once?
No, when you did it on your device, I guess it was per device. So
Okay, so you could vote on different computers.
But then it was locked out. Like even if I click the link now, it remembered from. way
Okay,
back
so
when.
is it that an IP address issue? You think?
Yeah, well then it's IP
Or a
address
device.
is just based off web. I don't know how SurveyMonkey
Okay.
does it, but that part I was comfortable with.
Has she polled business people and vendors? This will impact them much more, and it positively impacts so few. That's a comment from Ed. React to that?
Absolutely. And that's what it's been fun to listen to because so many of them early on, this was first proposed in 2012 and we talked about that median and then the idea of diagonal parking, which would have been cool, but then we would have lost parking on the other side of the street.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first thing when I said complete streets, they were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't want to lose parking. We have delivery trucks. So this has even evolved from then. And that was a big proponent in let's just do it and see it. And then once they saw it, they said, oh, we get what you're saying now. And it's been cool to see that transition from business owners even too. To say,
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And Lance, I'll ask the question, but you should know where he's coming from with this. Please ask Katie if she believes the Complete Streets will be her downfall in this year's election. The consensus online seems that way. The Republicans are going to use this against her for sure.
I always laugh at this. I'm sorry. Thank you, Lance, for the question. No, I don't see why representing your constituents would ever be a downfall. I think that's, again, I have hundreds of people who live right there. And we want to move Utica forward. One of my big passions here is like combating this youth exodus. You want to talk about all the people moving to San Francisco and Boston. They're going to walkable cities. So this is the next step no, we're putting Utica on the map. This isn't.
Okay.
And give the website for Katie again. I think Smitty got a call on that.
KatieForUtica.com.
You have a video up there.
FOR. Yep. Utica.
FOR, not the number 4.
Yeah.
KatieForUtica.com. And then, Julie, her projections can't be accurate. Genesee will only gain 100 more cars with the hospital, ? So she doesn't think people will go to businesses on Genesee, but just to the hospital.
This is from the traffic impact study. You can read it and go through that. But they are. But also, what are we doing about parking? People are upset if there's not enough parking spots. I can go through all of that too, of like the illusion that sometimes it seems is the case. But we want people to walk places. If they're at the hospital, of course, we want their business. But walk on over too.
And I understand the reason for that question, but if one car goes downtown to go to the hospital and then leaves the hospital and goes somewhere for lunch, that's still counted as one car, isn't it? Or no? Does it count as a second car?
You could drive by there 5 times a
and
day.
this
You'd
is
be
for
considered
the
that'd
peak
be 5
hours
cars.
of the concerns with this. So, and there's lots to be said about it.
Mike says, I think Joe Beatrice said it on the survey, that Complete Streets is the greatest thing that ever happened since the creation of Coca-Cola. Or is Joe Beatrice against it? I think he's against it. Doesn't he hate
please
Complete
don't
Streets?
start that.
I'm not sure which it was. I can't remember.
Joe, I got your back. No, he doesn't hate it.
All he said, it was the trial from what I've heard so far. I haven't heard
just
about
saying.
the rest.
And then Mike also says, Jeff, Aaron Rodgers might be available.
Oh, I would take Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
I would definitely take Aaron
might be available. Who knows? Okay. Anything else you want to add there, Katie?
If people are still experiencing the Complete Streets, don't just drive through it. Come actually be in it. 50% of the people who took the survey only drove through it.
Get out of the car.
And so any cons that we're seeing from that experience are being looked at through new traffic lights, better markers and signage, working with state DOT. So again, we're trying to perfect this for everybody's experience, but the pros have really been outweighing the cons we've even seen. And so, keep reaching out. You have a big smile on your face. Do you want to read?
Andrew, I just to put a bow on this with the downtown and the Complete Streets, I think for those who are against it, you could do some negotiating. In other words, you mentioned new traffic lights, ones that are in sync.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you're being asked to slow down a couple of miles per hour on Jenny, If you tell me I can get through there quicker because the lights are in sync, I would take that as a deal, right? Even if I was against complete streets. So I think there's some negotiating that can be done. I got a text here on the comment of Aaron Rodgers, and I said, I'll take him, and Andrew texted in, you can have him.
Yeah, okay.
Well, then you get Danny
Fair
Jones.
One more item. We were talking about people riding bikes.
Yes.
And a lot of people are classifying those bike riders in one
very negative, narrow.
So
mindset.
they're it's the guys that are out there collecting cans or who knows what, homeless people riding on bikes. But it is changing around the country and around the world where people are riding bikes more, and especially in nice weather where they're riding bikes to work. And
I just got an e-bike last year. I love it. I can't get enough of it. And every time I'm out, people are looking at it and they're ready to buy one too. So I think this
is the
next
e-bike where it's partially motorized.
Yes, you can
It's
pedal,
electric.
but I like because I'm 5'2", and if I don't feel like I can outdo a car or something's happening, you just cruise into e-bike mode and you get out of the way and.
Okay.
It's lovely. So and it's funny because across the nation, when people see bike lanes, the conversation's actually completely the opposite than Utica. They think gentrification.
Mhm.
They don't think poor people are coming to town, or however they put it. And it's
I
an
do see a
interesting
lot
debate.
of in the cities. You see a lot of delivery bikes because you can't get through. It's hard to get through the traffic, so they're on bikes.
And to the weather comment, Anchorage, Alaska, I think is number 3rd in the country for the most bike miles.
It's very interesting because in the cities, they tape plastic bags. They put a mitten or a glove in the plastic bag, and then they tape it to the handlebars of the bike. So when they come out after doing delivery, they just slide their hands right in, and they're constantly covered. No rain gets through the plastic bag.
There's no bad weather, just bad gear.
That's right. But they're driving through winter weather on bicycles.
Well,
I thought only Cowboy did that.
No,
apparently
no,
not.
You're
no,
wrong
we
about that.
we have quite a few bikers out
Yeah,
there. And
okay.
if I can also add today, I know, believe it or not, there's a lot more going on in my district than just complete streets.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And I am doing my monthly office hours. So at Character Coffee today, 2 to 4, people can stop by if they want to chat with me about the district or have any issues and concerns.
All right. Okay, Katie, thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Have a
great
wonderful day. Listen, are you as passionate about cheese as you are complete streets? Well, do I have something for you? A little tongue-in-cheek there, but we're talking about the most amazing cheeses made in the world, available right here, and it's artisanal premium cheese. You can sample a large selection of cheeses from around the world and their delicious restaurant-quality breads, charcuterie from Italy and France, and you have the perfect evening. Artisanal premium cheese located at Hemstraat's in the Hemstraat's building at 900 Oswego Street in Utica. Open 7 days a week or online at artisanalcheese.com. That's artisanalcheese.com. If you're looking for a great taste anywhere, because they ship, all you got to do is go online or call them, and they will ship anywhere. And if you're remembering here, Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and Artisanal Cheese and Hemstraat's has you covered with a great charcuterie board, or maybe you just want to ship half moons. They have them in Valentine's colors, vanilla and chocolate. And Artisanal Premium Cheese and Hemstraat's are open 7 days a week.
Don't miss out on this incredible deal with Half Off Thursday and SeizeTheDeal.com. Claim your half-off gift certificate to Babes at Harbor Point this Thursday morning at 8 a.m. before they sell out. Babes at Harbor Point has all your favorites like chicken riggies, Thai peanut chicken salad, the Southwest grilled chicken sandwich, New York strip, chicken marsala, shrimp scampi, roadhouse burger, and many more options. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to SeizeTheDeal.com.
Steve Pawnee Chevy wants to make it easy to get you into a new car in the new year. That's why you'll find a huge selection of 2023s in stock and incredible lease deals. Test drive our 2023 Chevy Equinox LS all-wheel drive with convenience package, 27 months, 10,000 miles per year lease for only $397 a month. Or how about our 2023 Chevy Silverado Crew Cab LT, four-wheel drive all-star edition, 36 months, 10,000 miles per year. Lease it for just $497 a month. Steep Pawnee Chevrolet. Find new roads at your locally owned and operated dealership, Route 28 in Herkimer, or online at steeppawneechevy.com. See why it's always easy to do business at Steep Pawnee Chevrolet. Customer must qualify top-tier credit with GM Financial. 25 cents per mile mileage penalty over 30,000 miles. $1,000 down plus all taxes, fees, first payment due on delivery. Must have current GM lease and household and take delivery by 1/31/2023.
If I could be you,
and you could be me for just 1 hour,
if you could find a way
to get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Mohawk Valley FCU wants to help you save money right now. They're extending their swap and drop auto loan promotion through the end of January 2023. Bring your car loan to Mohawk Valley FCU and they'll drop your rate up to 2% off your current rate for the remainder of the loan. That's up to 2% off your auto loan with locations on River Road in Marcy, in the state office building in Utica, and with mobile banking, you will receive the best service no matter where you are. Member focused, member driven. Visit MohawkValleyFCU.org.
If you're like most Americans, you can see things are out of control. Global problems have local consequences, too many of them. And if the next news headline spins us into chaos, you'd better be ready. Grocery store supply chains are only as strong as their weakest link. Don't wait for them to break. Today's the day to secure emergency food for everyone in your family. My Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company. Our specially packaged and delicious food stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. It'll be there when you need it. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and pick up several emergency food kits. There are a dozen different sizes that average over 2,000 calories per day. As we all know, calories equals energy equals survival. And as you'd expect from a true preparedness company, our food kits are in stock and ship quickly. Those who know what's coming are preparing today. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
Discover the difference that comes from a financial partner committed to building better tomorrows. I'm Jim McGuire with Baird Private Wealth Management in Utica. As a provider of trusted financial services in Utica, Baird is committed to making the future brighter for you and for our community. That's why we support local organizations like the Women's Fund of Herkimer and Oneida counties and the Capitol Theater in Rome, because we care about Utica. Discover the Baird difference. Visit BairdUtica.com.
Hey, New York Sash last year put brand new windows in our home, and they are beautiful and made all the difference in the world. In the springtime, in the fall, when you want to clean the windows, easy to tilt them in. But the beauty is closing them and opening them. That's not something we could do before with our older windows. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it was just a pain in the neck to open them up. And then my favorite is once you open it, because the mechanics inside were broken, the window comes crashing down.
Yeah.
All of that is gone. The windows have a lifetime guarantee, and they're New York Sash replacement windows. And we added the grid, so it changed the whole look to the home. That's the New York Sash brand windows. And right now, it's buy two New York Sash windows, get one free. Buy two, get one free. The sale is going on now, but will not last long. And this year is the year of giveaways at New York Sash. Every month of 2023, they're giving away a prize in their showroom. Right now, you can enter to win a 6-month membership to the Mill Family Fitness Center in New York Mills. New York Sash wants to help someone start off the year right. If you're looking to improve your well-being, stop in to New York Sash to enter the January showroom giveaway. It's a 6-month fitness membership valued at over $200. And while you're there, you can improve your home as well with energy-efficient windows and doors. Yes, Buy two, get one free going on right now. It's New York Sash in the showroom. No purchase necessary for the giveaway. New York Sash, Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Okay, how about a little weather update for you? You want to see where we're going with the weather?
Yes, and I'm going to continue to read through some of these hilarious comments we got from our audience this morning. I'll share them in a few minutes.
Remember, you can comment very easily by using the app. Download the app. It's absolutely free. Just search in Google Play or in the App Store. You would search for WIBX 950. And then you can get on, of course, easily to stream the show. And we stream live on YouTube as well. So you could watch what's going on, for the most part, in studio on YouTube Live. And you can comment there as well. So in terms of weather, here's what we're looking at. The National Weather Service says they're still looking at a winter storm for tomorrow into Thursday. And they're saying that by tomorrow afternoon, later in the day, snow is expected to begin. It'll come in the form of snow. Right now, they're saying 1 to 3 inches of snow. And then overnight, a wintry mix it'll go to. And sleet and freezing rain. And freezing rain by morning for a wonderful commute on Thursday morning, and then turning to all rain during the day on Thursday. That's where they are right now.
Do we want to close school now?
Which, by the way, is different than... And should schools have been closed yesterday? That's the thing a lot of people are asking. I swear, the minute everybody closed, the snow stopped.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Thursday, Friday, I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't slick in spots, but... I didn't think Thursday. You could have sold me on one of the days, not both of the days.
Well, I do think, though, that there were areas where it was much worse than what we had here in Marcy.
Could be. Certainly could be.
And if you look at the schools that did delay and those that did close, they are all in more snow-prone, colder areas of our area.
For those who are not sports fans, just bear with me for 1 minute here. I got to address a couple of comments via the WIBX 950 app. So John in Bridgewater's got a thing about you and the Bills. I don't know why. Hey, Bill, no surprise that Beefalo, as he's calling them, Beefalo got their butts handled to them from beginning to end. Here we go. This was at the end of the show. Here we go with the excuses. Cincinnati had no problem playing in the weather. And then he said this morning.
Wait a minute. That's not an excuse. I just made a comment. I don't know. John is still
on the Bills thing. Yeah.
No. John has been upset over Trump for a long time. I don't know, John. You got to get over that crap. We're well past Trump, aren't we? Listen, I said yesterday, it looked like the Bills were the ones that couldn't play in the snow. That was a criticism of Buffalo, not of Cincinnati. Cincinnati had no problem getting around in the snow. The Bills players were sliding all over the place. What the hell is going on? That is not an excuse. That is a criticism.
John in Rome.
Nothing else? Nothing else?
Not from that John.
John, come on. Call in. We'll talk about this.
But John in Rome.
I'm making no excuses for Buffalo. They played horribly.
You guys, this is John in Rome, you guys and everyone made Josh Allen as the greatest quarterback, and when they win, it's all because of him. But when they lose very badly, no blame can be put on him, ? Diggs had all the right to call him out. And then in regard to our free money question of the day, and
I just don't think that calling him out in the middle of the game is going to make things any better.
Yeah. I know I'm splitting the baby here. I think the criticism is fair to some extent.
I also think,
but I don't think he handled it the right way.
Picking up your stuff and leaving the locker room and leaving before anybody else left, like I'm better than everybody else, is bullcrap. Sorry, it's not the way Stephon Diggs should be acting.
So, and can I ask you to recap our free money question of the day? RV was the contestant. You had a question about who was the Buffalo Bills draft pick in 2019. One of them was Damar Hamlin. Who was the other? RV's answer was the quarterback.
Well, it was 2018, and 2018. It was not Hamlin. But anyway, I got to pull it back up. RV's question was it was the quarterback, And what was it, Davey?
It was Tremaine Edwards. That was the
Tremaine
draft.
Yes.
Edmonds, yeah.
Yep. And it was 2018 draft, and they took 2 players in the first round. They took Edmonds and they took Josh Allen.
Gotcha.
So RV's answer was the quarterback.
And ultimately, you decided.
I just gave him the money because I don't want to argue about it.
John in Rome wants to know if RV had answered overrated, would he still have won?
Well, I got to tell you, you got to wonder, right? I mean, I would not say Josh Allen had a better year this year than he had last year. Some would say that he was playing with an injured shoulder. In fact, Davey has news on that. What are they saying? That he's gonna rest the shoulder.
He's gonna go home and rest.
Hopefully, not requiring surgery.
Right.
I am disappointed in Josh Allen's performance this year, and not just in this last game, but there were a lot of interceptions.
Even the Miami game,
bad interceptions.
Those were the Miami game. I felt like those were deflected balls, like bouncing off your.
I agree.
But he did cough up the ball twice. They only lost one, but it was a touchdown that put him in a hole in the third quarter.
But previously, like for 4 weeks in a row, he was throwing horrible interceptions, like directly at the defense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he had an off year.
Right. He had that.
He can't be happy with it.
That spate of games where he was throwing red zone picks, right?
Yeah.
Wayne just messaged in, LOL, Buffalo excuses. Wayne, they're not excuses.
I don't know. If I've given an excuse, please show me where. I'm agreeing with everything. I don't know. He had an off. It's not the year we expected.
Nagel's chiming in now.
And it does make me wonder, is he going to be the great legendary quarterback that we as Buffalo Bills fans all thought he was going to be? Or is this going to be it? This is what you get.
Nagel,
it's amazing when he takes off running, but there's only going to be that's got to be short-lived, because I mean he's going up against linebackers and he's not sliding, he's going at them. How long is that going to last before he gets hurt?
And Nagel with the cheap shot. He said, John and Marcy, you're arguing over losers, and then he sent me a dozen Eagles.
Nagel, you're right. Yeah. Anything further? I got a bunch here too.
Go ahead. No.
Okay, these are all comments off YouTube, and a lot of it has to do with Complete Streets and Katie Aiello. Anthony says, how are they counting cars? I don't recall seeing a driving clicker. Linda says, I see so many delivery trucks parked daily in front of businesses by Oriskany Boulevard. The delivery lanes are definitely not being used. Lisa says,
I've seen a lot of that myself, if I can just say.
The test is not a complete test. They never completed the striping. How can they even think to move forward? And what about the impact of not only Nexus, but the U District as a whole? As for the median, that was designed prior to the expansion and removed from the plan many years ago.
Yeah.
And then Linda came back and said, as for the bike lanes, they're being continually blocked by delivery trucks. At which Katie said, you would then drive around and into the lane of traffic. Right. And not to mention the lack of bike traffic, even though the weather this winter has been relatively mild up until this week, and it definitely has.
Yeah, it certainly has.
I will tell you, in other cities, as you go to larger cities, there's a lot of bike traffic. But we are not the walk. This is why when every kid turns 16, and I don't want to say every because I have one that doesn't, and he wants to live city life. But every kid at 16, the first thing that kid does is go get his driver's license.
Yeah.
That does not happen if you live in the city. It's completely different. We are a different society upstate. We drive cars. Whereas if you live in a major city, chances are it's not a big deal for kids because not everybody drives a car. It's a pain in the neck. I mean, let alone trying to find a place to park. That becomes even a bigger problem. So this is a different area. We're never going to be that big metropolitan area that everybody walks and rides bikes. I'm not saying that we're not going to be there where it exists. I'm just saying we're never going to be at the level of what you have in those major cities.
I just any change is very disruptive to a lot of people. Any kind of change, myself included. I'm not looking down at anybody by saying this, but changing a routine, changing what you're used to, is very disruptive. And I just think if it were to, now with one exception, the Stanley, and the whole issue with the loading lane or the truck lane. If the truck lane's being used appropriately and there are accommodations made for the Stanley, to be honest with you, I think in, 3 years, 5 years, we look at this and go, do you remember people were getting all up in arms about the change in the traffic pattern? And if you went back to 4 lanes in 3 years or 5 years, you'd go, wow, this is like a raceway. Just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. I don't think this is a big deal.
I would say the comment that was made about that area where the lines haven't even been drawn at the Stanley. So how would you know how people are going to react? Because the lines haven't been drawn there.
Well, right, but it's still 4 lanes.
But I also find that you could argue, why make this change? What's the big deal? Why do you have to make this change? But I think other people can argue, if this change is made, what's the big deal? So I think there are arguments on both sides that. But if you're a business owner, and you see there's a problem, I think those people should be, as opposed to doing a poll, which, by the way, anyone can participate in. They don't even have to be in Utica. In fact, they may never even have driven in Utica. And the problem with these polls, you have to believe what these people are saying. Are they telling you the truth? You don't know. They're not scientific. So I would put no weight in the polling at all. But I would think that polling and having continued communication between the city, the council, and business owners who are along that route, I think would probably be very, very important.
So based on the numbers that Katie shared, and these were the poll results through last night. And again, this wasn't her poll. It was a simple, straightforward, basic poll that they did through SurveyMonkey. It didn't cost the city anything. That's what Katie said. 46, and I don't remember who was in favor or who was against, but my point being, you got 46 for or against, 45 the other way, so you're almost dead even, and then 8% who are indifferent. And I think in reality, it's probably 60 to 70% who are indifferent. A lot of people are like, you know what? Just tell me if I have 2 lanes or 1. Just tell me what the traffic pattern is, and I'll just do it. I don't need to make us think about it. We don't have to change it back. Just let me know what you're going to do, and I'll adjust.
I find it hard to be able to pull this off without a median, because you're like, if you drive over in near Gerber's over in that area, that traffic plan pattern is completely changed over there now. But there's a median that you're following, and you don't have that on Genesee Street. So if the roads are covered, the lines are faded. It's nighttime. You're not going to see it as well. I'm not sure who's following it, even if it's there, right?
There are some people who have said that as well.
If there's snow on the ground, on the road, you're not going to see those lines. So people are just accustomed to it. I am there's one section of traffic that bugs the daylights out of me, and it's over by the old Zeb's as you're coming in from Clinton Road, and you pull up there. And you'd be crossing over to Genesee Street to go towards First Source, right? Or you could take a left and go up by I'll just say Alfredo's. None of that is there. Or you'd go right and you'd go down by JK or go towards Carmela's. Mm-hmm. So you're in that lane. If you're turning in that left lane, there is no stoplight for you. The light turns green. You got to look over at the light in the other lane, which is pointed in the other direction. You see an arrow which is red, but that arrow isn't for you. It's for the traffic that's going east and west on Seneca Turnpike. There is no light there, and I sit there. I know because I'm from here, and I drive that route often. So, but if you're not from here, you sit there waiting for a green light that never will come, because the green light is over to your right, up, and when everybody's going, you're waiting for your light. And I sit there with people just sitting there not knowing when to go. I can't believe that hasn't been fixed. And we're worrying about changing the lines on streets. I realize we're talking about 2 different cities here, but, I'm just saying. 8:38. Hold on. We'll come right back. You want to comment on any of this? 315-736-0186 at WIBX.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply in the new Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them at 315-724-6767. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies. We make life easier.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Attention, per the current government mandate, U.S.-based insurers are now required to cover at-home COVID testing kits every month with no out-of-pocket fees to you. If you have a current insurance plan, you are eligible to receive up to 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to your home or business each month absolutely free. Just visit testkitforfree.com to begin the registration process. When completed, Tiero Health, a trusted source for next-generation healthcare, will submit a claim to your insurance provider. There is no deductible and no copay. Your 8 monthly tests will ship directly to your home or business for free. Go to testkitforfree.com. COVID-19 and its variants are still here, so take the worry out of searching for time-sensitive tests by registering you and your family today. Visit testkitforfree.com to register from the comfort of your own home. That's testkitforfree.com to receive 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to you at no cost. Just visit testkitforfree.com today. Paid for by Tiero Health.
EasyCater presents We've Got Your Back, Up Singers.
Backup singers. So right before this important meeting, I get a text from EasyCater that the restaurant lost power.
No electricity.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
She said sarcastically.
But EasyCater was like, don't worry.
No sweat.
They got another restaurant to fill the whole order.
The whole order.
And I was like, are you kidding me? But in a good way.
Inflection is everything.
Problem with your order? EasyCater has your back with over 100,000 restaurants.
EasyCater.
Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.
They got your back.
I'm Rocky Fiato from the Waterfront Grill.
And I'm Mark Butler. Rock, I'm curious. Were you ever a part of the in crowd?
Well, back in school, my group was always in.
Yeah, in trouble.
But this time, I'll really be part of the in crowd from 1 to 5 on Sunday, January 29th at the Waterfront Grill in Herkimer for our annual tailgate party for charity.
Really? Well, let me in on the details.
Again, we'll have a buffet, raffle, prizes, music, and NFL championship games on our TVs. And admission is just $25.
This year, Rock, Barb, and I will be raising funds for the Herkimer County Hunger Coalition, the County Humane Society, and Sleep in Heavenly Peace, a local nonprofit that builds and donates beds for children who otherwise would have no bedding of their own. And that's the real in place for these kids to be, in a safe, warm, comfortable bed.
Indubitably.
Rock, I got to throw the challenge flag on that word. That's Sunday, January 29th at the Waterfront Grill in Herkimer. Sponsored by WIBX and the Keeler in the Morning Show. You know, the little short guy.
Indubitably.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Good morning. It's 8:44 and Tuesday morning. Looking at maybe a little inclement weather by tomorrow night and Thursday. Yeah, we're not done with this. It's January, for God's sakes. It'll be February.
I know.
When we're in March, we can start saying, when is winter going to end? But although I will say the Masters is advertising.
Oh, they are.
You know, when the Masters advertises,
hello,
pitchers
friends.
and catchers are just around the corner.
And interestingly,
2 different sports, I do understand that.
With the extension, Bill, of the football season by one more week this year, we will actually be into mid-February. So I believe pitchers and catchers will report like a day or two after, or maybe even a day before the Super Bowl.
A lot of people talking about the a lot of people all over this complete streets thing. It is a heated argument.
Yeah.
Because I guess it's easy to say, why do we really need it? And it's easy to say, if we get it, is it a big deal? Is it going to change anything for you? And I guess that I would think that, you know, the people probably that can answer that question best are the business people down there along that route.
Yeah.
I would think that we should be engaging with them. And to be fair, online polls have no scientific accuracy whatsoever.
That is, I don't disagree with that at all. I do.
We don't even do them anymore. We used to do them, and we'll do them for like stupid things, like what's your favorite sandwich? But as for anything that has any meaning, these polls are not scientific, and they are not going to give you an accurate result.
I do think it was nice for the city to give people, even if it was only a perception, which I think it was a little more than a perception, but to give them an opportunity to provide some feedback. Now, again, it's not like, again, with the numbers that Katie provided, and she did send me a follow-up text with the numbers in them. So it was 45 one way, 46 one way, and 8% were indifferent. So it's not like whoever had 46, that outcome beats the other one. Ultimately, I guess, based on what Katie said, it's up to the mayor to make a decision, and maybe the council will have some ability to weigh in there as well. But it gave people an opportunity to share their thoughts and opinions. Hopefully they are read. Hopefully they take the time to, absorb what people took the time to share with them as far as feedback goes. But I don't think this is a huge issue either way. Also, I think... And this is maybe out of left field, but I think if they do certain things, I could be wrong here, it might open up some federal funding opportunities for the city with the most potholes per capita, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, supposedly, I don't remember this exactly, but I remember hearing stories that the reason Oneida Square became an Oneida Circle and a roundabout was because they needed so much work done there. They were trying to get a way to get federal money to pay for it, so they went to a roundabout, and it opened up a whole funding stream. Now, I know some people are sitting in their cars right now screaming at their radios. Calm down. I'm just asking, would you rather pay for all that, or would you rather have part of the country share the bill there? Again, our roads, the roads in Utica are really in rough shape, and I'm not blaming an administration or a politician. It's part of the reality of living in the Northeast. If you can find an extra revenue stream for stuff like that, I really don't fault the city for trying to do that, if that's part of the plan.
And I do think the roundabouts, boy, you see them out in Rome, in the Griffiths Park. I think they work really well. There are some people that are confused by it, and they don't know what to do. Other than that, I think they run really, really smoothly.
I got to find out where it is. There is a mind-boggling roundabout that exists in another country that it's confusing to even watch from afar. But if you just follow the instructions and know what you're doing behind the wheel, you'll be fine. I mean, most roundabouts in Utica are the one lanes. I mean, Rome, you got
Yes.
a 3-lane.
Yeah.
And there's one in Utica that's a 2-lane, the one that's
Look
by
at
the
that.
old
Look at
OD.
that. Google the one that's in England.
Is that the one? That's
it's not
the one.
in London. It's got like 12 or 13 lanes. It's unbelievable.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And it's and amazingly, there are fewer accidents in that roundabout than compared to other traffic studies. I don't know. Somebody writing in here, I know exactly what you're talking about, turning left on the Seneca Turnpike if you're coming off Middle Settlement Road.
Correct.
Over by Zeb's.
Yep.
I cannot believe there is not a light there. There needs to be a light in that lane. Otherwise, if you are a normal commuter there and you're from here, you totally understand.
Yeah.
I got to look way to my right and up. I get a side angle of the light, and when I see a green glow, I know it's time to go.
Yeah.
But if you don't know that, you're sitting and you're waiting because there is no light there.
No.
How was that ever set up like that? And how has it been that way for so long and not corrected? The Oscar nominees are being announced as we speak. Do you want to know the 2023 Oscar nominees for Best Animated Film? This I keep hearing a lot about, and I heard it was really, really good. Pinocchio. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Okay.
Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red have been nominated for Best Animated Film. That's all I have right now.
Okay.
There's some others that are out there.
They're trickling out this morning.
They're trickling out this morning. Let's see. Nominees for Best Actor. Austin Butler in the movie Elvis.
Yeah, I knew that.
Colin, hello. Thank you very much.
That was good.
I talk like this. This is how I talk all the time. I've always talked like this. No, you haven't. Yes, so this is how I talk. You can even tell as a kid I talked like this when I was a child. I'd say, Mommy, what time can I have a cookie? No, I think you're acting like Elvis.
You almost sound like but that approach of Elizabeth Holmes where she dramatically changes her voice, the Theranos woman,
Yes,
the blood
that's
test.
right.
And
Yes.
then says, yes, I've always talked like this. Okay.
Colin Farrell, the Banshees of Inisherin, Brandon Fraser, The Whale, Paul Mescal, After Sun, and Bill Nighy, Nighy, in Living for Best Actor. 2023 Oscar nominees for Best Animated. I already had that one. And, here's one more. 2023 Oscar nominees for Best Supporting Actor. Brendan Gleeson, Brian Tree Henry, Judd Hirsch, Barry Cogan, The Banshees of Inisherin, and Kei Hoi Kwan, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm completely lost with all of these.
Can you read that list in English this time?
I don't know any of these. And maybe it's because I'm not going to the movies right now.
Yeah, I don't know these either. I was kind of afraid to say I don't recognize, other than the one actor from Elvis, because I've heard everybody talk about him.
And finally, supporting actress is out. Angela Bassett, Black Panther. I haven't seen any of these movies. Hong Chow, The Whale. Kerry Condon, The Banshees of Inisherin. Jamie Lee Curtis, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And Stephanie Sue, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Did you say they banished Ed Sheeran?
I believe they did.
Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah, I think it's happened. Do I have time for a few more? Jim Piccola's not in that job anymore. Larry had said you should reach out to Jim Piccola.
Yeah, he's not.
And he said you've mentioned that to Jim Piccola. Maybe. I'm obsessed with that intersection.
Yeah.
Just because it seems so wrong. I don't understand why it hasn't been fixed.
Did you get this? Matt and Clinton chiming in as well. Boy, they got a lot of people on this traffic issue. Bill is so right about the left lane on by Zeb's. It's a very long line no matter which way you're going. There needs to be an arrow there. It must confuse people not from here.
If you're not, you know what happens if you're not from here? You sit there. You sit through the green light. It cycles through. After a few times, you're like, okay, yes, something's wrong.
Put the seatbelt on.
You finally go. I mean, I have driven around people, tried to roll my window down to say, just so you know, I'm not being rude. I'm not yelling. I'm just trying to tell you the light's way over there. That's where the light is. It's green right now. You can go.
Christine in Whitesboro says the intersection at Clinton Road and Seneca Turnpike is definitely malfunction junction. I like that.
It is. You're right.
Lance and Lee, the complete street debacle will be the undoing of the counselors that pushed it. This is why Palmieri has been silent on it. It'll hurt him when he runs for county executive. Let's stop for a minute. He's got a lot of other things that are going to hurt him
I don't
before
know.
complete streets.
Do you think? Did he say he's running for county executive?
That's what Lance said. I don't think that's. Look,
he's running for something.
Yeah.
What's he running for?
Maybe.
Or is he running to an appointed position in Albany? He's running for something.
Tom in Holland Patton's got a question about Jimmy Fallon tickets. I'll send this to you after the show.
Jimmy Fallon, we've added a matinee show. All the Monday or I should say the Friday at 7 and 9:15 sold out. Saturday 7 and 9:15 sold out. Jimmy will be here on the 17th and 18th in studio that morning doing his show, his live show from around the country or to around the country from this studio. That is such an honor for us. And we've added a matinee show Saturday afternoon at 5 p.m. Go to the website, fatcatscomedyclub.com, for details.
And we say good morning to Asher in Florida. He says, I live in Miami now, guys, but there are bikes everywhere around here.
There are, yeah, but that's really nice down there.
It's nice climate, too. He also said, great show today. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Anything else?
John's got a comment on the Arc D. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. The Paris roundabout. He says it's total chaos there. No, appreciate all the comments as always, though.
I don't know about that, but the one in England, look that one up in England, and there's a video where you're watching the people go around. It's unbelievable how they're able to get through so many lanes and do it without any without accidents.
And if you watch it, and this might be a bad analogy,
You've
but it
seen
almost
this too.
looks
It's like a mega roundabout.
It's a mega roundabout, and if you look from like afar, like an overhead shot, you would think it were the gears in a clock. The way it's so, I'm going to say this wrong. Let me reword it. It works in harmony, like it's just amazing to see.
And remember, it's England, so you're driving on the right side, so it's completely different anyway. But it works.
It's too much for me.
Yeah, and in England and London, they have right down on the ground. It's painted and written. Look this way. It tells you which way to look because people, especially tourists, were used to people driving on the right side, and you look the wrong way, you step out into traffic, and you're dead. Listen, I want to leave you with this one thing. It's time to go. I got to get out of here. I have things to do, people to see, places to go, Davey.
Yes, we do have places to go.
Yeah, I know you got some things to do. KFC in Thailand has created, and I think this is an idea for Jeff, because you've found lightning in a bottle today. KFC in Thailand has created fried chicken incense sticks. You light them up, and it smells like fried chicken. Now, Jeff, in the bottle, lightning in a bottle, has found tacos. An incense stick? I mean, you've been able to... Yep. It's time to go for me. I've decided I'm not giving them any more time here at Town Square. I've set a timer. We hit the timer. It's time for me to go. If I'm in mid-sentence, sorry. Gotta go.
Oh, man. Well, I think that's a great point.
You have a coat that smells like a taco today. And if you could just capture that and put it into an incense stick, you might make millions. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's a bad idea. They have a candle similar to this, and I've always argued if I walk into the house and smell a candle that smells like KFC, I want to eat KFC, not smell KFC.
That's a very good point. And on that note, we must leave. Please have a wonderful day. We're back here tomorrow morning.
Are you ready to make the most important decision for your child's future? Some are easy, some are not. Some make all the difference, like choosing Notre Dame schools. Offering grades pre-K through 12, your child will be ready to learn and thrive in a challenging atmosphere surrounded by great teachers and the most current technology. Notre Dame offers small class sizes, high academic standards, and spiritual fulfillment. At Notre Dame, we foster an environment of diversity and community. Students feel supported and more confident in achieving their goals. Our students learn from each other and are challenged to grow and develop their innate talents. Notre Dame is faith-based, but everyone is welcome. If you have higher expectations for your child, Notre Dame offers a higher level experience. If you're ready to launch your child's future into the most successful career path and build the next generation of leaders, Call today for a tour or visit NotreDameUtica.org. Notre Dame Schools, ready to learn, destined to lead.
Golfing fans, we're here to tell you about the 80th anniversary membership special at Twin Ponds Golf and Country Club in New York Mills. For only $89 a year with a $10 per year administration fee, get a 2-year anniversary membership at Twin Ponds and enjoy unlimited golf from Monday through Sunday. Contact Twin Ponds today for this special offer before it's over. Get your $89 membership today. Go to twinpondsgolf.net.
How do you sum up 70 years in 30 seconds? The Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties has helped nonprofit groups put more than $110 million donor dollars to work over the last 7 decades. Programs, services, people, places, progress. Our 30 seconds are about up, but we're just getting started. Learn more at foundationhoc.org and help us work toward a vibrant region with opportunity for all.
From the Stanley Theater Studio.